I'll take the chance and roll the dice. Just wanna feel the stars surround, the atmosphere never to come down. I'll stand alone, whether right or wrong. It takes me home, right where I belong. Back down, only one way out. I'll let you run my life. Now you won't get me down. Untamed, guess I lost my mind. You turned me inside out. No one can stop me now. So turn up the light. Turn up the light. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. This is what I waited for. 'Cause the clock keeps ticking, hard for me to keep up. I can't take it no more. 'Cause the clock keeps turning, feels just like it speeds up. Is what I waited for. Burning like a sun, loyal as a soldier, kneeling at the stars, hoping that we'll be right. We'll be right. We'll be home. You gotta help me out, riding coasters to dream your eyes. You gotta help me out, swim in oceans to breathe your life. Don't you ever forget, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you ever forget, baby. I just can't be alone tonight. Ticking like a bomb, falling in motion, center of the stage, hoping that we'll be right. Back again. You gotta help me out, riding coasters to dream your eyes. You gotta help me.
We're live.
out,
It's time. Welcome, everybody,
oceans
to Rowdy Board. We're not going to mess around tonight. We have a third
Don't you ever
co-host.
forget,
I'm excited about having him here. Let's bring him right in.
I just can't be alone tonight. Don't you ever forget, I just can't be alone tonight.
What are we doing tonight? Time to back. Back from the 2019. What? Yeah, so we've been mixing it up on the show a bit. Last week we announced that Sergeant Sodium is going to be a permanent host on the show. And then my buddy, Bobby, who you see to his, I can't see the screens right, maybe? Bobby, giant beard and wonderful glasses. I meant wonderful beard and giant, whatever. He is, he's a buddy of mine that I used to work with at Apple, and used to be the host of a show called The Casual Hour, and now he's freelancing a little bit, so I scooped him up for this show. Bobby, do you want to introduce yourself and let us know what you do, friend?
Yeah, man. Thank you so much for having me, guys. It's an honor to be on the show with all of you. I've been super excited to finally join up. I used to run a show called The Casual Hour with a few guys here in St. Louis, Missouri. We ripped off the Giant Bombs format, which, you know, shamelessly, we had a great time doing. and we ran that show for a couple years, and everybody had some family stuff that came up and other opportunities and other podcasts. So we decided to hang up that show, and now I just hang out with my wife a lot, play a lot of video games, and work that retail grind, man.
Dope. All of those things sound pretty good. And I know that the retail grind sounds like it sucks to those of you who worked there. Apple was a unique place. So
I worked at Toys R Us, so
yeah, you worked where it ain't so good. Apple knows where it's at. One of the last things I did when I worked there was like a citywide Christmas like holiday party where a bunch of Apple employees performed and did like stand up and played music, and it was fucking magical. But that's not what the show's about, is it, boys?
Nope.
We're gonna talk about games.
We are.
We're gonna talk about
kind of magic.
We're gonna talk about all sorts of cool games. But first, we gotta jump into news. And so, as you guys know, we normally do a couple of news articles, and I normally attribute those articles to the blog I found them from and the author who wrote them. But this one kind of doesn't need attribution. I will say that I got a tweet from Jason Schreier yesterday that spiked my pulse, like literally spiked my pulse. And it was that, that Bungie and Activision were divorcing, and Bungie was getting to keep Destiny. So I lost my shit. I was at work. I don't know if you guys were at work when this news kind of dropped, but I was sitting at my desk and out loud in the studio was like, "Oh shit," and got everyone's attention. But yeah, this is gonna be something we're all gonna have some thoughts on. So why don't we just like go around? Eric, what do you? We'll start with Eric. What are your thoughts on the fact that easily one of the biggest gaming partnerships, aside from Activision Blizzard, is no longer?
I don't know if I would have ever considered Bungie and Activision a partnership, right? I would have considered that corporate overlord and employee is how I would classify that relationship, because the second that they got involved with Destiny, or Activision took over, right? Destiny is just, I would attribute that to the downfall of it. It was funny though, because every time, I don't know if you saw any of my replies to people on Twitter, because they're like, "Oh yeah, we're finally going to get old Bungie back," when they were making Halo, and to every one of those people I replied, "Yeah, like when Microsoft owned them, when they were making good games." And I know that was rude of me to burst bubbles, but it's the honest truth, right? Microsoft, I think, stayed out of their way for the first couple of Halo games.
Sure.
And let them play good games. I'm tentative. My excitement is tepid right now, just to see where it goes. This is still knowing how corporate separations work. This is still 18 months of Activision being involved. Bungie is still on the hook for the next year of content. We don't know what that contract and demerger looks like for the year 3 of Destiny 2. But I think for the future of the franchise, it's super exciting.
All right. Dope. We will get into discussion, so please don't be afraid of that. Ryan, thoughts? Oh, you know what? Bobby, why don't you go first? Just because you're the guest and I didn't do that before I let Eric go, and I feel like an asshole.
No, it's all right. So obviously, like, this was a big shakeup that caught a lot of attention across the board. I love Bungie. I'm an apologist at times for Destiny. This is like the longest break I've had from playing that game, because I didn't quite care for some of the changes that were made recently.
Sure.
With Forsaken. I mean, I know a lot of people were like super jazzed about what they did with it, but I just really bounced off it pretty hard after playing through a little bit of those things. Like, I'm all about independence. I think that what they did for a long time with Microsoft being out of their way, to your point, Eric, gives them a little bit more freedom. I think that they did stop listening to their base for a while, and they listened to their base too much, and then they listened to Activision or whomever, or the stockholders, too much. And like, there's been some dumb shit that's happened where, like, I think that the separation of people on PlayStation from Xbox with like the exclusive and like the year-long content and all that bullshit that came out, like, I'm hoping that they start to like remove themselves from some of those things that I think Activision was trying to get some money from. But ultimately, like, in my simplest opinion, this is a good move for Bungie to get more control over their IP. and to be able to hopefully start to do a little bit more unique updates. And I think what's going on right now with something like Fortnite, where you see like they're changing some things up with how you have a game with service go and how you have all these random ass updates happening. I absolutely think that Bungie has to evolve a bit, because in the world that we're in right now, like there's a lot of opinions floating around with these big AAA studios, but ultimately, like I think that they should have a little bit more control over what they're doing. And now that Activision's out of the picture, it's curious what 4 years from now we'll see. I mean, it's interesting it's happening so close to like the potential next launch of hardware too, because that's kind of what kicked off Destiny to begin with.
Yeah, for sure, absolutely. Ryan, you got thoughts on this this company divorce?
Not really. I think the last time I cared about Bungie was like Halo 4.
They didn't even make Halo 4.
Well, all right then. The
Yep,
Halo
I think-
franchises. So, like, honestly, I don't really.
Well, hold on. Are you talking about the number in the franchise, or are you talking about the fourth Halo released?
I'm just talking about Halo in general, I guess. I didn't realize that they didn't make that one, so I just threw out. I think the last one that I played, because I didn't play
Yeah.
5. So
Well, no,
Right,
I guess it would be. I guess the fourth game released would be 3, right? ODST came
No,
out.
ODS,
ODST.
ODST.
Was
is
Yeah.
ODST? Okay, ODST was out after 3. I
Yeah.
couldn't remember what that order was
Yeah.
there. All right.
Yep.
Anyway,
It takes place during Halo 2,
right.
but it was released after Halo 3.
Right. It's still probably one of my favorite of the series. Just-
ODST and Reach are
it's
the
so good.
shit.
Yep, so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
unbelievably good.
Yeah, I think
Okay, so my opinion, real quick, before sorry, Eric, I'm cutting you off. There's a couple of things, and like there's a lot that obviously went into play here, but the fact that it happened so suddenly without rumor is a little nuts. Jason Schreier literally tweeted like 11 minutes before the confirmation, like something's happening. I can't tell you just what yet, but something's happening. And like 12 minutes later, 11 minutes later, it was like, oh yeah, by the way, they're done. I do want to point out that in November, Activision tweeted that they were disappointed with Destiny 2 sales.
Mhm.
And then like 10 minutes later, the leads at Bungie were like, we are extremely proud of Forsaken, which
Yep.
should have been the first sign of like, they're not getting along. That's not something that generally happens without people getting fired. So that was the thing. But I think that everyone's points so far have been super valid. Bobby, I agree. Like, it's going to be really interesting to see where this company is in 4 years with their own roadmaps that they can follow and not having to go by the strict annual schedule and monetization style of Activision. And Eric, I think you're right that it's good for them in terms of just being free of leadership, because they not free of leadership, but free of like an overlord, because they did grow disenfranchised with Microsoft back when Microsoft was in the dark days, some would say. I mean, I know 360 was a really great time for Xbox, but the transition from F360 to Xbox One was surely in the process when Halo Reach was released and they were on their way out, with Halo 4 being released as like the last game on the system, kind of. But I think it opens up weird possibilities, and I'll end my quick take, and we can get into discussion real quick with this thread that I found myself following yesterday of a guy, and I can't remember his name for the life of me, but he's been kind of known for calling stuff based on Microsoft recently, insofar as like Halo 5 recently, so not super recently, but he called the reveal of Halo 5 a few months ahead of time, called the reveal of the Master Chief Collection. He called the studios that Microsoft was going to scoop up before E3 this year, and he said about 6 months ago that it was that Microsoft was itching to bring Bungie back into the fold, which I remember seeing and being like, it's dumb.
Are you
and then
gonna name
Bungie-
this Sage?
I don't remember his name, but I said that.
It's not Michael Patcher, is it?
I don't know. That's not it.
Okay.
I don't know. Anyway, so then this separation seems a little bit conspicuous based on that information, but follow that up with Phil Spencer being one of the first people to tweet in response to Bungie's tweet of like, hey, yeah, we actually did do this. And Phil's tweet said, "Looking forward to working with my favorite indie studio again." And I might be looking into this too much, but Microsoft was talking about buying EA last year. And if they were talking about flexing that kind of money, and with Phil Spencer as leadership at Xbox and seeing what Xbox has done, him going back to his old friends and saying, "What if I gave you money and complete creative freedom?" doesn't sound like it's out of the realm of possibility. So I'm extremely excited for what could end up coming.
Yeah, that's huge. I mean, to think about like a kind of a homecoming for them. You know, like I had this discussion offline with a few other people just about like who's really more to blame with some of the missteps with handling Destiny. Is it Activision? Is it Bungie? Like I have to feel that like Bungie was making decisions for the dollar, but ultimately like I think some of those missteps to some of the shit that's wrong with Destiny does land at the doorstep of Bungie on their own.
Sure.
But like,
yeah,
for them to come back, like, I don't know, like, do I want to see Bungie making Halo again? Like, honestly, man, like, I'd like to see Bungie just do something fucking new. Like,
yeah, absolutely.
Like, they had a 10-year plan for Destiny.
Excuse me.
I don't know what they would do, but I mean,
So I think
if they end up with Microsoft as a studio, who knows?
I think there was a really good point brought up, and I like this, and I didn't jump in it in our group Discord, but the fact of the matter was, I think it would be awesome for Destiny 3 to launch with Bungie complete creative control, and it be so far in the future that everybody's just gone. Zavala's gone.
So Destiny 1 and 2 is the lore you learn?
They're the lore. You're finding out stuff about Zavala and Cade and whatnot, and it's a totally new world. I think that would be the smartest, coolest way for the franchise for Bungie to take creative control and actually do some of the things. Because I think back to when Destiny was launched, right, and watching that first trailer of that first zone. And then, getting the Thunderlord on the stage at E3 when they showed it off. And then, a year later, the game came out. It was like, what?
There's a
There's
a full podcast to be had about the blunderous development cycle at Destiny 1.
I think that feeds into what Bobby's point, right? Is we like to point the finger at EA and we like to point the finger at Activision, because they're the evil corporate overlords, right? But it's very easy to blame somebody for making money, but we've got to remember that's exactly what a publisher's job is, right? They are in the business of making money. There are publishers that do. I'm just calling it out there.
Yeah, you are. No, you're not wrong.
I'm not saying it's right, but that's their sole function, right? Is we're going to give you money, studio, and you're going to provide us a product back. And here are the terms and milestones that you're going to provide this product. Here's your little bean counter that's going to come and check up on you, and you cut decisions and, and do things from, corporate. But ultimately, was there some of that going on? Yes. Was there some missteps with the community going on? 100%. I think. So, your car's locked.
Damn it, Ryan.
Every time.
Yeah.
Every time.
No, it's super interesting, and I imagine we'll probably come back to this as a full topic when more stuff comes out. Like Activision's going to actively move itself out of the marketing and like publishing process over time. It's not an immediate and like clean separation. It's gonna be a little bit of a drag on operation, but it's exciting to see Bungie be literally the largest indie studio in the world. Suddenly, almost overnight. And I'm excited to see where they go. I think that if they did go back to Microsoft, I know that's a long shot and a dream. If they did, I seriously doubt they would work on Halo. Because 343 is a very powerful team, and Phil Spencer had the faith in them to be like, all right, build your own engine and take 5 years between games. I don't think they think that studio needs help. I think they're pretty confident with what they've got. But seeing Bungie come back to Microsoft could be really cool.
Let's get that. Let's get that Marathon reboot. Let's go.
Fuck. Or Oni.
Or another Oni. Ooh, baby.
They can't make Oni though.
Why?
They could. They'd have to call it something else because Oni is an established part of the Halo universe. But that's fine. We're getting into semantics. We have been talking about Xbox a lot.
Why couldn't they spin it though? And we're going to go down a rabbit hole here. Why
Oh my
couldn't they
God.
spin it that Oni, much like the Wayland Uteni Corporation, was a predecessor to everything that it was Halo? Right? And it's a.
I mean,
it's, right?
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
I just
I
want to see.
Smell
I
a
just want
3-hour episode coming on.
no.
Caleb and I are going to talk about this the rest of the time. Here we go.
No. What I was trying to so smoothly segue into before Eric had to ruin it with that really weird fan theory was we've been talking about Xbox a lot, and our topic tonight is about Xbox, but it's about Xbox Game Pass. And for those of you who don't know, you've been living under a rock. But for those of you who haven't been living under a rock and don't know, Xbox Game Pass is essentially Netflix for games. It's $10 a month on Xbox, and it gets you access to over 150 games now. And it's a rotating list, but it's a slowly rotating list, much like Netflix, where you'll see shows show up and then go away. But it also is the proprietary home of Xbox exclusive properties, day and date of their release in the service. And when it first launched, it came with titles like, oh man, I don't even remember what was in the first couple of months of Game Pass. Suffice it to say that it was a very small selection, and people were kind of like, that's all right. But as I wrapped up last episode, for those of you who listened, December was insane. We got Mutant Year Zero, we got Ashen, we got Below, we got the Life is Strange, the whole first Life is Strange, Life is Strange Before the Storm, and then January we got
Ark came out in December too, didn't it? Or was that November?
Mm-hmm.
Ark Survival Evolved.
Yeah.
And then January has seen Life is Strange 2 Episode 1 already in there, and that came out in like September.
Hey, the biggest game I was like really looking forward to was Farming Simulator 17.
Yeah.
Anybody really wants to get down on that.
Xbox finally got Absolver. For those of you who haven't played Absolver, get on that game. It's so good. For Ben, my uncle, who's having a lot of problems with that game, get good. Anyway.
Why? Yeah. Ooh.
Shots
damn.
fired. He doesn't watch the podcast. It's okay.
Nah, he doesn't watch. He won't know.
You're
Anyway,
forgetting maybe the penultimate game that was just added there.
I didn't say Below. Did I say Below? I didn't say Below.
No.
You did.
Below also.
You did say Below.
I did.
You forgot
Okay.
to say. You forgot to say my new darling. I take offense to it though.
Hellblade.
In Hellblade.
Hellblade came out in like November, my friend. It's been out for a minute.
It has not been on Game Pass.
Yes, it has. You missed it for like a month. You were like, "Yo, it's on there," and I was like, "It's been there, but whatever. It's okay. It's okay. It's okay." Hellblade: Senua's Sacrifice by Ninja Theory, new Xbox-owned studio, is also on there, and Eric played the hell out of that this week. Suffice it to say, Game Pass has, in the short lifespan that it's existed, oh, you know what? One of the first games on there was fucking Sea of Thieves.
Yep.
Anyway, in the short lifespan it's had, it has become easily the best value dollar for dollar
100%.
in gaming. And so, yeah, our topic today is about Game Pass. And I've been talking a lot and keeping you guys from talking. So somebody kick off discussion with something.
Well,
I think it's the most innovative thing that's happened this generation. Like I told you that offline. That's a really big ass like hyperbolic statement, but the thing of it is that like when you talk about innovating and reinventing, like what they've laid out with Game Pass not only gives flexibility to gamers, it is an opportunity for exposure for some of these games that like nobody would ever fucking spend money on or play, which is huge. I think that it also is the foundation for things to come in the next generation, like the cloud gaming service that Microsoft has teased. I think it's going to be baked into Game Pass in some shape or form. And right now, out of all the three big players in the console wars, you only have one outside of PC that's offering any type of preview, which is Xbox. And they have the Microsoft preview for these games. And like, I can't help but think that that's going to be absorbed into Game Pass in some way. Like any game that's on preview is going to be immediately part of Game Pass. What a better way to test what the game can do, to break the game, to like get feedback on a game. Like, I think that it's already such a close handshake to the gamers that to get developers more involved with like a feedback and a conversation through something like Game Pass, like that's the shit that's going to bring it to mobile. That's the shit that's going to bring it to tablets. Like, I would not be the least bit surprised if Microsoft somehow worked out a deal with Nintendo, since they're best buds now, on some sort of cloud gaming coming to Switch, power Microsoft and Game Pass. Like, there's so much that's happening with this right now that like there's a cloud around it that's just like, oh, you get all these games, you get these, you know, exclusives day one. But like the bigger picture being painted is that this is the future of Xbox that you're seeing right now. Yeah.
And you make a good point with the game preview stuff that I remember you mentioning that, and I didn't actually think about it, but like PUBG and Ark Survival Evolved and We Happy Few were Game Pass or game preview titles that all wound up in Game Pass.
Yep.
So like it's already kind of become that. And like you're right, that game preview relationship opens up like a dialogue for what seems like a very easy transition into being a part of Game Pass.
Yeah, man, it's wild. I love it. I'm very happy about it. I'm very happy for Xbox.
And just to defend myself here, it was released on December 17th. I downloaded it on December 18th, and just because I got around to playing it over the last 2 weeks, I just don't want to. I'm not going to be called out that easily here.
Ma'am.
Yeah, ma'am. Anyway, no, I agree with everything Bobby just said. I think it is one of the most innovative things with everything that happened in this generation. And I'm just looking over the list of games here, and it's not necessarily the first party games or the Microsoft games that jump out at me on this list. We've got Hellblade from Ninja Theory and a bunch of the recent acquisitions, but there's a bunch of games on here like that you would never buy, to Bobby's point, without and just giving it a chance. And then I think this, taking it one step further for the DLC stuff, right, is super interesting, because I would a lot of these games I wouldn't necessarily buy, but all of a sudden now I've got a $10 a month, I'm in it, I'm invested. Oh, now the DLC's coming out, so now I've just now I'm giving that money directly to the publisher, and taking that extra step to actually become part of that community. But I think it's interesting. PlayerUnknown, Battlegrounds is on there, which is, I think, huge for them now. And we see games, some of the older games like Devil May Cry, the newer Devil May Cry, and stuff like that, which just gives, looking at the calendar for next year, which we've talked about a little bit, I think we're gonna see games coming out quicker, faster, like that, on this service.
The list of games on Game Pass is just so good.
It's unbelievable.
Yeah, I'm on my Xbox right now, scrolling through, looking at everything.
It's so good.
And to everybody's point as well, like Absolver and Ashen that came out, I would have never paid for that.
Nope.
Because you guys know the games that I play, and it's nothing. It's neither one of those. Yeah. And you guys brought it up, and I downloaded it. It's like, oh well, holy shit, this is actually. It was very frustrating, and then I was like, because I knew it's exactly the game I don't play, but then the more I played, because I could do it for free, I got into it. I like it a lot more now. And like, it also has older games. Like, who's going to go out and buy Halo Wars 2? I love the game, but I'm not going to go buy it just because, you can't get a copy for under $30 or something like that right now. It's like, there's no point in me paying for it, but it's like, oh, look at there's my games right there, the ones that I want to play every single time. And like, I'm looking at my most played in my actual games. I have 100 games downloaded to my Xbox, and the only ones I play are all on Game Pass.
Yeah.
It's ridiculous, like the number of things that are on here that like I actually play, like Rocket League's in Game Pass.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
like, you spent money on that game, Caleb.
I mean, it's not like it's not like you're getting like there's some trash that you got to sort through. Like, don't get me wrong, there's some shit on there, but overall, like, you get
Scream Ride's an amazing game. What are you talking about?
I think that there's absolutely like not only is it that there's a shit ton of games on there that are readily available to go, you've got some really good games. Now, like one interesting thing I've thought about too for them, like I don't think they're struggling to get the service off the ground right now. And I know I'm not the first person to mention this, but like Sea of Thieves came out to lackluster fanfare, right? But
Sure.
that game should have been and still could be a Game Pass exclusive. And I think that that's something that they haven't even tapped into yet, is like, hey, you want to play this game, it's only available if you're an active subscriber on Game Pass. It
Sure.
lives slowly behind Game Pass. And they need a banger to do this. And I don't think Sea of Thieves was it. Like from a games with service, it makes sense. But to get something out there, like I don't even think Crackdown's the game to do it. But if they get a game that says you can't buy this, you only get it through subscription, which I know some people will be really pissed off by, and it doesn't need to be something massive from them, but it needs to be a game that can turn some heads to get people in there. And because once they get into it, they're there.
I would go as far to say that Halo Infinite's fucking perfect.
Yeah.
They plan on making that game not like a they plan on making that game like a live service game. They don't want to make it like exactly like Destiny, but they plan on like making something that they can iterate on for years. And I can't think of a better way than to guarantee like, hey, this game's going to be, you can only get it through Game Pass, which means the people that are playing it are paying $10 a month for it for the entire duration that it exists. And like, that could be a really great way to fund that endeavor. You said something else and I wanted to comment and I forgot. Eric, you were saying something. Go ahead.
Well, I think, that you brought up an interesting thing there that's going to piss a lot of people off. I feel like if that's introduced too quickly or in the wrong way, we could end up with a Don Matrix style release. The next,
you love that guy's name. I'm pissed at you for bringing him up again.
I'm going to do it though. We're talking exclusively about Microsoft and he needs to be brought up.
I hate you.
I know, that's fine. In this regard, it's a matter of, if all of a sudden you're pay gating these exclusive Microsoft games in a service, right? If I'm thinking about this, now granted I have Game Pass, so I'm trying to think of it from the outsider looking in, right? I'm not gonna all of a sudden I've got my kid who I buy one game for a year, spend $120 on a recurring subscription to get them that one game.
So I'm gonna have to disagree, I think, because there are things that come out on Netflix that only come out on Netflix, and if you want to watch them on something else, you can get bent. You know what I mean?
I'm not arguing that model. I'm arguing video games. I'm not take Netflix out of the equation, take HBO out of the equation. I'm not saying it's not coming. I'm saying the marketing and the business aspect of it around it have to be thought about a little bit more than just saying, oh, here's a game, because there's a lot of people out there that are going to say, wait a minute, I don't want to have to pay a subscription to get my game. I have a friend who literally lives right down the street from me, another dad, who refuses to buy anything digitally. He goes to Best Buy Tuesday, buys a Blu-ray. Game launches, he goes to GameStop, he picks up the game, right? He doesn't want it. He still wants to own a copy.
You can't cater to people that are attached to things that change though. I don't mean to like talk down about people that like their media physically, but like sorry, excuse me. But the idea that like I think you're overestimating the willpower people have maybe, because people will absolutely subscribe to something for one thing. People subscribe to Netflix for Marvel shows, and they will subscribe to Disney Channel, the Disney Netflix, the Disney Net version of Netflix, so they can get Star Wars shows. Like that's what we do now. We no longer worry about paying large sums for the swath of cable that we get. We pay $3, $4, $5, $10, $12 a month for a collection of things. And if you were to start, I don't know, I think the transition from games, 4 games into that thing isn't that big a deal. Like and like Bobby said, it doesn't have to start with big titles. It can't start with big titles, but if you start throwing small things up there that you can only get through Game Pass and ease people in, think of the Netflix model, right? Like they didn't jump in and go, here's all of this stuff that we're making. But over time, because they started making stuff and people liked it and people started to realize like, this is how media works now. I don't think that's crazy.
I don't think it's crazy.
I don't think it's as scary as you think it is. I think it's something that we're really close to.
I think the bandwidth is there. I think the bandwidth isn't there, and I think we're still alienating a lot of people that aren't in a bubble that we live in, right? I don't think. I know.
But why has that conversation not come up about Netflix?
I'm not arguing. Again, I'm not arguing Netflix. Netflix is a different model than what this is, right? Netflix is a very easily consumable model, and it's much easier from a family standpoint to say, oh, there's something here on Netflix if I'm watching Punisher for every single person in my family. If I'm buying my kid one video game a year because that's the game he wants, and I know other parents, and I'm looking at this from a parent's perspective, right? Again, and I know other parents who buy their kids one game a year, and that's the only game that they get, right? I'm not saying that's right or wrong. That's just their parenting style. Those parents right there, they're never going to buy a subscription model for their kids to play games because they're going to say, here's $60, end of conversation.
Yeah, well, those people don't.
Yeah, why would they spend $120 a year for this one game that this kids can play?
Those people aren't using Game Pass now, guys. Why would it matter if Game Pass started putting games on Game Pass exclusively?
Because now my chubby-cheeked blonde kid wants this game. And we can't get it for him. And I'm not going to get it.
I still think, I don't know if it'll be the game content that like they pay gate and do that with. I do think the vessel that elevates this to the next step is going to be that cloud service. And I think that you might even have at that point in time, like they might break and do tiered subscription models. Like here's Game Pass without the cloud, here's Game Pass with the cloud. And that could turn into something there. But I mean, I think a better comparison is Amazon.
Yeah.
Like people paid for Prime for just faster shipping and free shipping. And now they're paying, they've increased the cost of Prime because they've got, Emmy award winning TV shows. They're offering Amazon Unlimited. They've got dash buttons and all this other shit that they've like sprinkled into it. And I would argue that like it's too much. And I think Microsoft's done a good job of being a pretty straight line in bringing content to people that they wouldn't have played. But if any of the other players get into a situation where they start to stream, I mean, Sony's just one flip away from turning PS Now to something similar, where there needs to be some exclusivity, I think, beyond just the first-party titles that would entice people to be there.
Yeah, I think the bigger problem, I think the bigger challenge Sony has is infrastructure, right? Where Microsoft has the unique advantage of saying, oh, wait, here's this infrastructure because we are a IT company first, that Sony does not have.
Sony also does
baked into their system.
Sony also does their service wrong. Like I'll be the first to hang my coat on that. Like PlayStation Now is a streaming service, and every game is tough to get through if you have a mediocre connection. Xbox Game Pass, you can hit download on a game, and it's on your system. Like you don't have to worry about streaming that and having a constant connection while you play. And so like that's a big deal. And I guess like it's worth bringing up, but like I think Game Pass, we've already kind of brought up that like Bobby threw down right away and said that he thinks it's the most innovative thing that's been done this generation, and I agree. But I think it's also the most generational change proof thing that we've ever seen a company do. Like Game Pass is something that is established now, only being 10 months old, 11 months old, and it's established itself now, and we're seeing something that's going to turn Xbox into a future-proof company. Like PlayStation is. Yeah, PlayStation is going to have to figure out what to do to make their next-gen system compare to this, not Xbox trying to figure it out. You know what I mean?
Hold on. I'm going to bring it up. I'm going to say his name again, but I'm going to say it in a positive light. This is what Don Mattrick was trying to get across when the Xbox One launched. Because what Phil Spencer, because he is Phil Spencer, was so eloquently able to do, and the shifts have been there, is he has taken this original concept that was Xbox One and molded the rough piece of clay and that shitstorm that Don Mattrick gave us on by an Xbox 360. I said
you're going to say his name one more time.
I'm going to say it.
You said it twice.
3 more times. Don Mattrick. Anyway,
surrounded by assholes.
I know. But my point is that's where I think it is. And going back just real quick, not to harp on the point too much, but I think it's interesting. And I would almost go so far as to say not even Amazon, but the new model that Hulu is come out with is probably the best example of a tiered subscription in that type of service, right? Is because you can get Hulu at the base like $9 a month or whatever it is, and then you can get the commercial free plan, which is what my wife and I pay for. Then you can add on individual subscriptions. So like when you better believe when Game of Thrones comes out, and this plays into your point, Caleb, right? When Game of Thrones comes on, I'm going to pay the extra $10 a month to get HBO while Game of Thrones is out, and then I'm going to turn HBO off. Right, I'm gonna spend $30, and I'm gonna get out of there.
And they're gonna bank on you forgetting to turn HBO off. And I know you specifically won't, but that's how they make money.
Right, exactly.
If someone throws on HBO, and then a year later they're like, "Oh shit!"
I agree. And then you can.
HBO.
And now they're starting to promote. I don't know if you've seen the Sophie Vergara and I can't even pronounce his last name. Magliano or
Joe Manganiello.
Manganiello, whatever. Mangiant, fucking Deathstroke. The ads that they've been running now promoting their $40 a month cut the cable service, right? Which I think is the most brilliant thing in the world.
You can throw in a bunch of channels, for $40.
That's making, because you don't need to log into your FX or your thing. That's AT&T, and fuck you telecom companies. That's all I'm saying.
I think what's interesting about it, like if you just zoom out and look at services across the board right now for the industry, like right now, like if you own more than one console, you're more than likely paying $120, give or take, a year to have online capabilities for both of those consoles. And if you are like just that one guy that has an Xbox, maybe you had an Xbox 360, you got an Xbox One. And I think that, like, from what I'm gathering, this is my first time talking to most of you here, but they're playing a lot of games that a lot of people normally wouldn't play, and you're exploring things that other people wouldn't explore. Like there's a good amount of people out there that are like 1 to 2 games a year type. They're gonna get their Madden fix, they're gonna get like their Call of Duty fix, and they're gonna bounce between those two things. Now there's Fortnite that's doing. And what I think Microsoft's doing really well is that they're offering in a service module for people to play more things.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff that, like Ryan was saying earlier, like, no, Ryan would, that's probably my mic.
Yep. Sorry, dude.
I don't know what it is. Is that better? I turned the gain down.
It sounds like somebody's running water and a vacuum, and there's a train and a helicopter all simultaneously right there.
Does it still sound like that?
No. Now you're good.
It's not as loud. Now you're good.
That was just gain because there's a shower on the background.
Okay. There we go.
Guys, I'm moving into my own house in like a few weeks. Just be patient with me.
All good.
I forgot what I was saying. Oh no, like the idea that some things wouldn't have been played by people if they hadn't had them just pop into this service that they were already paying for. Like, no, Ryan was absolutely right. Like, I wouldn't have played Ashen. It's a Souls-inspired game, and like, it's a pretty looking game, and I was interested in how it looked, but the idea of playing a game like Dark Souls that you get frustrated with because it's just brutally difficult is not something I'm going to pay for. And Ashen dropping on Game Pass, I was like, oh, yeah, I'll give it a shot. And like, we played it for a little bit, and it's interesting, and I do plan to come back to it. And I played Absolver on PlayStation when it came out. I bought it on PlayStation when it came out, and I stopped playing it because I couldn't play with my friends. Now it's on Xbox. I don't have to pay for it, and all my friends can download it. It's just an opportunity creator. Ryan and I got really into Halo Wars 2 this year, and like,
I wouldn't go really into it. We played like one game together.
We played it for like 2 nights straight and got through like half of the campaign. And I want to go back to it. We just got interrupted by something.
Life.
Life. These things.
That thing.
Yep.
These things.
These things. Life, kids, whatever. Whatever.
Yeah.
They're things.
Yeah. No, Game Pass has become this. I don't know. If you would have asked me in March when Sea of Thieves came out, after playing Sea of Thieves, if Game Pass was going to be big, I would have probably told you no. Because Sea of Thieves, to me, And thank God Ben doesn't listen to this podcast because he'd have a conniption fit. Sea of Thieves to me isn't interesting. It's beautiful and the gameplay loop is fun for about 6 hours. But I've said this before, like it's not a pirate game. It's an explorer game. If I wanted to be an explorer, I would play that game and go dig up hidden treasures. If I wanted to be a pirate, I'd play Black Flag and sail around and attack ships for their loot. And like that just doesn't. That's not the key gameplay loop. And to some people it might be. To when Ryan and I play with Ben, it's often not. We have to force him into like
killing other people.
Let's just go kill people, and he's like, I don't want to.
That's not cool.
But to get back to my point, if you'd asked me then if Game Pass was going to be what I think it is now, I would have said no. And so to take this leap and then like over 9 months of kind of tepid interest from most of the community, and then land December and January like they did, like dude.
Yeah.
Like three games came out on Game Pass in December that were on like my Game of the Year list. Like Mutant Year Zero was fantastic. Below is very good. Yeah, like did you play Mutant Year Zero, Bobby?
Oh yeah. I'm playing it right now. I actually played it just a few hours ago.
Oh, that game is so good.
It's very good. It's very, very good.
And it has like no business being that good.
No, I think it's one of my biggest surprises actually from Game Pass that I've picked up. Just like it was a game that I downloaded because I was like, oh shit, like I like XCOM, I like Rabbids and Mario, like I'll check this out. Sure. And it completely delivered.
Yeah. It's weird that I keep saying it's weird. It's a pleasant surprise.
I think more importantly, like one of the things to like really make mention of with Game Pass, and we talked about it, but we haven't really like landed the plane on it, is what it's doing for first party exclusives for Xbox, which has been the argument this entire generation that, hey, get a PlayStation because Microsoft doesn't have shit when it comes to exclusives. And like, I tend like as much as I'm like maybe not keen on what Sony's been doing the last year, I have to agree that with what Microsoft's doing by saying, hey, we heard you, we've bought more studios, and for $10 a month, whenever these studios put out something new, you can play it day one. I think that in itself is monumentally huge. And I think that like a game like Forza Horizon 4 to come out this year and be able to play that day one, like the value that you get just from that game is unreal. Mm-hmm. And then like Crackdown 2 was whatever. Crackdown was a hell of a lot of fun when the first one came out. This third one's been talked about. Arguably, probably one of the biggest titles to come on Game Pass. So I'll be really curious to see come February if there is a spike. Yeah, if it's any good, one, but also like it's a safe bet for somebody to say, you know what, like I won't spend $60 on it, but maybe I'll do that $1 for the first month or even $10 if I've already done that to play Crackdown. For like even from a Redbox rental standpoint.
Right.
For $10 for 30 days is that's a great point.
Yep.
I mean, with Game Pass, I think I'm looking at it right now. I probably got $300 wrapped up in games that I know I would have bought if they weren't on Game Pass, and I haven't even had it for a year yet. So I haven't even paid $120 yet for the subscription, and it saved me $300 at least so far, until hopefully some of these games don't fall off. But there's at least 8 or 10 games that I would have bought. There's one game that I was forced to buy by Caleb, but I'm not going to go there.
And here's
hey man, it was a trying time.
I know.
Here's something that's interesting too that we haven't brought up is later in the next couple. I think it's either the end of next month or maybe top of March. Maybe it's the end of Q1. I can't remember. But Game Pass is coming to PC too. So not only is your $10 subscription going to cover your console, but now I know that Sarge has a PC. Bobby, this is your first. So I would imagine you're a member of the PCMR. Maybe not.
Bobby and I are on the same team.
Nope. Okay.
We are not members of the PCMR.
I'm the only one, but I'm a traitor, right, to the ranks of the PCMR because I play console with you guys every night, even though I've got this thing sitting right here with me. That's pretty good. But my point is now all of a sudden, not only am I going to be able to play. Not only am I going to be able to hop in on these games on console with you guys, and then I'm also going to be able to play the Game Pass games with my friends that only have PC, which is now I feel like I'm ripping Microsoft off at that regard. Which is super interesting. To be able to hop in and then be able to get not only the first party games, which are to be able to play Crackdown on PC with friends, and then also with you guys on Xbox, but be able to hop on, play Crackdown with PC. It's just awesome. I got no real thought with just awesome there.
I think that is our first indication that Xbox is on its way to just being PC. I don't want to say I don't want to be as blunt as saying they will be the same, but like as Xbox moves into the streaming to any device realm, like the system is going to go away. And so I think Microsoft is willing to take the hit that they might be making in terms of money for people that are going to buy for PC and Xbox, and bank on people being so happy with this service that when Xbox moves more and more into that streaming space, and consoles start to phase out, it's gonna just be like a PC thing or a mobile device thing, and like that's a really cool idea,
right? To
be able to just log into an Xbox account no matter what device it's on, and play your games.
Like Sony tried their asses off to make the Vita work for him and to have the remote play go to that guy, and we all know how that played out. Nintendo has just won over millions because it's Nintendo, and they have this amazing little darling called the Switch. And then Microsoft's over in the corner thinking like, man, every one of those motherfuckers has a smartphone in their pocket. And if we can get to that, like we don't have to, like that's a service. Like those people might not buy an Xbox. Maybe they get a Switch or get a PlayStation, but they have their smartphone, whether it be Apple, Android, whatever. And if they can tap into that for $10 a month, maybe even more, they're going to be doing just fine without the hardware because it's already there. It's already pre-existing. So all these other companies right now, they're trying to figure out relevancy, like when streaming is more popular and when devices are getting smaller and people want to have things that go with them. Like even on a global level, where like when you go over to China, where Xbox has struggled immensely, like to tap into that market, like if they can bring their service to something that's more mobile based, like, hey, this is going to be on your smartphone, like you can have your Xbox right here and have Halo or whatever this game would be powered through xCloud right here ready to go. I mean, the possibilities for them and the potential there is unlike they've ever seen because they've really struggled to go east with Xbox, and this is a great tool to get them there.
Yeah, and I think that's a lot to do with Satya taking over. Because he flat out, when he came into Microsoft and took over after Ballmer, one of his first initiatives was like, nope, guys, enough of this R shit devices. We need to just work on everything and be done with it. So I think he had enough forward thinking there, and this goes back a couple episodes to I don't remember how long ago, what episode it was, but we had Avel on, and we were talking about the finite versus the infinite game, right? And I think this is Microsoft very much saying they're playing the infinite game in every way possible, where they're not worried about, to your point, Bobby, finding the darling of a console. Like the Switch is amazing. It's awesome, right? I've played it. I want to get one for the kids. But ultimately, I'm looking at the landscape and Project xCloud. Like, if I can hand my kids a new iPad, which works cross-functionally, they're going to need them for school in a couple of years anyway, and then they can just plug their controller in there and have access to the entire library of games that I've built up. See you later.
Yeah. And MFI controllers just got LNR sticks, which is fucking huge. I've wanted that for years. So now they got controllers that can do that. So, I mean, massive.
It's one of those things where like, it's clear when you think about like Xbox, like we brought up already, they have to be losing a little bit of money with the Game Pass going to PC and Xbox, and like they have to be losing a little bit of money paying games to be on Game Pass right now because it's so fresh and brand new. It kind of just goes to show you like they're not sitting down in their office and thinking, how can we beat
They're not.
PlayStation?
They don't care.
Or how can we beat Nintendo? They're sitting in their office and they're thinking, how can we make our games accessible to all of the people who want to play the game?
Yep.
How can we make it accessible to people who aren't going to have parents who will buy them a system, but a cell phone is necessary? How many people are going to, you know what I mean? Like, it's a company, and we brought this up, and maybe there's a little bit of a disclaimer to throw out to remind everybody that Bobby does work at Apple. But when we talked about the Infinite Game first, the example that Simon Sinek gives is going to Microsoft back in the 90s, or no, not 90s, early 2000s, because he got a Zune from Microsoft.
Yep.
He talks about going to Microsoft and them talking about how can we beat the iPod? How can we beat Apple? How can we and going to all these companies and then trying to figure out how to beat Apple, and then going to an Apple conference and hearing them only talk about how can we make lives easier for teachers?
Yep.
How can we reduce our carbon footprint? How can we give back to the community? And that's that mentality that Xbox looks like they have. How can we give back to gamers? How can we give them what they want, where they want, when they want?
I think the accessibility control was a really good indicator of where their focus is.
Yeah, dude. Absolutely. Absolutely.
No, they didn't have to do that by no means. And they're selling that thing at a very, very reasonable price. And again, the concept that you're trying to make right now, I'm very much in love with, Caleb, is that they want games for everybody, which as somebody who's grown up, super influenced, and my fondest memories in life come from gaming and the experiences I have with it. I think everybody should have that. And I think that consoles have always been I look back and I'm how the hell did my parents afford to feed this need for me as a kid? And completely unnecessary. Yeah. But it did so much to influence who I am today. I often wonder, to your point, they have to make it simpler for kids of all class, of all location, and of all abilities to be able to play something like this and grow up with it, to become developers, to become influencers, to become commenters, become podcasters. Those are super important things.
Jace Hall did a great interview, and I can't remember what it was for. If you guys don't know who Jace Hall is, I absolutely love that guy. He owns damn it, now I forgot the pro team he owns with Rick Fox. Echo Fox, thank you. He also works at he owns Twin Galaxies he works with them a lot. Anyway, he did a show a couple of years ago on Facebook that was hilarious. But he did a great interview where he sits down and says exactly that, Bobby. And it's really interesting watching now these kids grow up, especially because I have an 8-year-old daughter and I have a younger son. And my daughter looks at games when she plays them, and she is analyzing them very critically and looking at them and she wants to know how they work, right? She wants to know the relationship. Why did, when I touch this button, did this guy go across the screen? That's what she's trying. That's what she's trying to figure out, right? And we're gonna get to that here in a minute. I think that's where we're ultimately transitioning to there, Mr. T. But then my son though is looking at it from that point. But the point is what Jace was saying is that love of games, like you were saying, Bobby. It may not, a lot of parents, and I have a lot of friends who are, kind of more interested. Oh no, my son's got to play football, and Fortnite's a hobby. And I'm like, well, and I always make this argument to them, why not foster that love for something that they're passionate about? Because you don't know what it's going to turn into. It could turn into a massive career in creative design, like it did for my buddy, who is a huge artist. We grew up all through high school playing games together. We played through Halo on Legendary, right? And now he's a highly recommended architect out of Dallas, another friend. But it's and they all attribute these things back to gaming, because I've had many in-depth conversations with them. But I think it's the only industry that can do that in that way because of its interactivity.
No, I think that's a great point. There's something really special about it. And I mean, to put a pin in it for me on this subject before we start to recommend some games, I just think it's super important to make it easier for people to play the games they want to try and play, and to have an opportunity to do it. And I think Microsoft gets that. If they make some money from it right now, that's great. The about face that they've done this generation has completely won me back over. I left Xbox 360, I got a PlayStation 4 based off of how they handled themselves at the beginning of this generation. And here I am now on this episode, basically telling you guys Xbox is my main console again because of how they've treated the customer base. Yep.
So I got a question, and I hope it doesn't open a huge can of worms, but somebody probably already has the answer to it. But so Xbox, you guys keep saying that their next thing is to get inside of these, each and every one of these that we have in our pockets. All right. So now, is that a long game for Microsoft? Because I can tell you right now, I can't find a single game on the App Store that looks like it does on my Xbox. I can't find a single game on the App Store that I'm going to want to pay more on my cell phone plan to have unlimited data to be able to play the same games with all of my friends. Yeah, I can get on a wireless connection like I got Xfinity for my phone, so I have Wi-Fi hotspots. I can do all that. But the long game is to where is Microsoft going to get it to a point to where people are going to want to spend more on their cell phone, that they're going to want to spend more on the brand new phones that, and are they going to have to wait for that technology in those phones to build up to where they can look, where I can play Forza on my phone and look fantastic? I see your hand is up, but I am not done.
I know.
So,
I just want to take the first stab at this from a technology industry standpoint, and then go ahead, finish your thought.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm not going to be able to see Forza like I see it now. I mean, like games like Fortnite, I think those might be easier just because of like the graphic quality isn't as extensive, that kind of thing, which is going to be good for them because that goes to an age range of like 6 years old to like 12. That's like the main people that play it, 15, So parents these days are buying their kids cell phones and iPads and like everything under the sun, So I mean, it's not going to be hard to appeal to them, but like, how is it going to appeal to me, somebody that's going to want to see these high-end games like I see them on my computer or on my console at home?
So let's think about it real quick. I'm going to take this from the macro, like technology standpoint, right? So right now we're in a
You're about to get schooled. Sit down.
No, he's not about to get schooled. I'm not. You
just were like,
I'm educated.
Let me break this down by macro first. So,
right? So we're in a transition.
Wait, hold on. Hang on. I have to interrupt. I said you're about to get schooled, and you're like, I'm not going to school him. I'm educating.
Right,
that's school.
But that's a much nicer tone than I'm going to. I'm going to be polite about it.
I knew somebody is going to have the answer.
Anyway,
so I just
get schooled and get schooled and get educated. Get schooled and get educated are both insults. Go ahead.
Anyway,
thank you.
What I was getting at is we're in a transitional period for cell phone technology, right? We're going from 4G, which has a max bandwidth capacity of about 75 megs, right, to a 5G phone, right? And 5G bandwidth has a max throughput of 1.5 gigabits, right? So now we're talking about 500 more down than what I have in my house over the open air. Not to mention, you kind of answered your own question, right? You're on Xfinity for your phone, so you've got access to Wi-Fi hotspots everywhere. Right. So the point being is it's not necessarily are you going to get the same graphical fidelity when you're playing locally on your system, right? I don't think we're there yet. We're maybe when we're at 6G, we might be there. But with the way compression works and the way everything else works, scaling that 4K image down to your phone screen, you're not going to tell the difference when you're playing on your phone, depending on which phone you have. If you have an iPhone XR, I don't remember what the newest one is, like the OLED or whatever they call theirs in that damn phone is immaculate, right? Like I would put that up against my 2K gaming monitor and say that it produces better colors than what I have. So I think that coupled with, and this year, Bobby, I know you've mentioned it a couple times, is Project xCloud, right?
Mm-hmm.
That is Microsoft's streaming service. So you're not even going to have the hardware. You're not even going to have the hardware with you, right? You're basically taking that 5G or that Wi-Fi connection and you're streaming it, just like I did the couple times that I've gotten to play Assassin's Creed. And
I think the point is that like it's not an issue of like the internals in your phone. Right. It's about your internet. It's about your internet connection, and so like you play your games at home. Right. Or you play like right now you play your games on your console at your house attached to your Wi-Fi, and like giving people the opportunity to stream these games. Most of the time they're going to do it from home, especially if it's the game that we play. We're going to sit down and we're going to do it. They're going to start streaming stuff and I'm still going to play at home on my TV. But it means that people at subway stations and people at libraries and people at McDonald's and people in the airport waiting for their flights and people at school are going to be able to hop on at lunch or on a break or on the way to something or commuting, and they're going to be able to hop into a couple of games of Rocket League with you're going to be able to pull out your Xbox controller, pair it Bluetooth to your phone, and then play Rocket League on your phone while you're going somewhere, while you're sitting and waiting for something, while you're in a waiting room. And like what that does is, and no, they're not going to try and get you to spend money on your phone in terms of like the games that you look through right now.
But that's what I'm going to have to do, though.
No.
Say I have 3 15-year-old kids.
Yeah.
All right, they're not all the same age. Obviously, it's not possible unless I have triplets.
No, you can have triplets.
But yeah, let me finish. Hey, if you'd like not interrupt me, that'd be great. But anyway,
this fucking guy.
Schooled.
But I mean, if I want an unlimited plan for my phone right now, it's $45 for unlimited internet on my phone. Now, each one of those kids is going to have that unlimited plan, because I guarantee you, because I don't have a Wi-Fi hotspot anywhere like at all times in my city. So I have to have that, because if not, it's going to be more in the long run. So therefore, I'm spending $135 now for my kids to have, just for my kids to be able to play on their phone, when I could just spend $60 on them to have Xbox Live Gold, and they can just come home and sit their ass down and play some games.
No, here's the deal, though.
I love how you're thinking like a dad already.
Yeah.
You're like your dad brain. You're already 10 years into the future, man. You're not even. That baby's still cooking, and you're 10 years down the road, man. You're where I am.
Here's the deal, though.
You're where
Here's
I
the
am.
deal, though. Here's the deal, though. That I don't think that problem is as big a problem as you think, because with the release of 5G and with the development of the world as it's going now, Wi-Fi is going to be even more prevalent.
Right.
We've already got Elon Musk talking about launching Wi-Fi balloons up so that Wi-Fi is just free for everybody, everywhere, at all times. And that's going to be something that'll take time to happen. But this is we're thinking about like Xbox, right? It's a platform that has parental locks and guards built in, and if your kids are playing the Xbox games, you're going to be able to go into their accounts and restrict them to only playing on Wi-Fi, and that's a problem that you no longer have to worry about.
Right.
Yeah, but you said Wi-Fi is going to be free to everybody. When is anything free to anybody for any long period of time until somebody figures out how to make that not free anymore?
Well,
that's a really pessimistic way to look at it. But go to the library, go to Walmart, go to Walgreens, go to McDonald's. Like, they have Wi-Fi always.
I think it's also a situation too. Like, again, this is more about choice than it is about this is the only like gospel truth way to play these games.
Sure.
Like if I was a parent, which I'm not, and if I had kids, which I don't.
You have a dog. It's a
got 2 dogs, which they like the game. They get a little worked up, but they like the game. So if I had a situation where like I could have an iPad in the house, like Eric was talking about, where like I bought this game or I have this subscription that's then maybe on a family share situation where like, okay, I can play this on my Xbox, but like my kid could be on the couch next to me playing on his iPad and like having his own experience on these games. Like there's some flexibility there that I think that they offer. Now, bandwidth and unlimited data and all that shit that gets into it. Like, I think you also have to look at things like people who are constantly going live on Snapchat, Instagram, Facebook, people who are uploading vlogs on YouTube and all this shit on their mobile phones, which is taking up just as much bandwidth right now. Like, things are getting better. Like, the codecs that are being used to make video have a smaller footprint on a bandwidth standpoint. Like, it's getting better. It's not anywhere where it needs to be. But as the technology demands more, the software has to meet those needs. And I think that you don't have to go out and buy like the best phone possible, but like I do think that if you're going to be constantly on the go, or if you live in an area like a rural area that maybe doesn't have Wi-Fi bandwidth, but you have really good cell service, maybe you spend a little bit more on your cell service because you can't do the Wi-Fi stuff. Like, it's just an option, I think, to have that there, which is super, super awesome.
Yeah, that's a good point.
I really wanted to play devil's advocate with this one because I feel like we all had like ideas of how great this was and how Microsoft's going to make it fantastic to get everybody in their pocket. But like, I just wanted to see how many of just the 4 of us are already thinking outside of what I guess somebody in the consumer standpoint that I was portraying would feel about the whole situation as itself.
I think
I appreciate
huge.
that.
It's huge.
Sure.
And I think this is the reason that the telecom companies are shitting the bed right now, right? And why you see, or shitting the bed, they're shitting themselves, right? Because they are.
I mean, if you shit the bed, you're shitting on yourself too.
Yeah,
Go
right,
ahead.
Right. What I'm getting, yeah, what I'm driving at is. That's why all of a sudden you've seen Time or a Spectrum and Comcast come up with these services to get your cell, is because they know that in the very near future they could become just pipe, because they are no longer the creators of content. They are no longer the singular gateway to find content on the internet. Hulu, Netflix, Amazon have all, in that category of original content, HBO, become disruptors to the grip that Verizon and them have on it, even Google to an extent, right? I remember when Google was coming to Austin, AT&T was just shitting all over themselves and trying to figure out how the hell they did it. Well, guess what? They went directly to the new subdivisions being built, and they bought exclusive rights to buildings. They bought exclusive rights to new neighborhoods 10 years before they were even being built, so that Google could not create a customer base here. So they are very rapidly worried, to your point, about how they become more to you than just pipe.
Well, I think one thing also, like to your point about just the bandwidth and things of that nature, is like my parents just last year. So for the last, I don't know, 15, 16 years, they moved to an area that's literally like 3 minutes away from like the downtown area of where they live in Illinois. So it's not even that far away. They could not get high-speed internet at their house until AT&T brought a wireless service in. So they're doing like limited AT&T bandwidth, which isn't even that great. But they finally just got Netflix for the first time in the last year. My mom and dad's minds are just like blowing up from that. And when my wife and I go back there, like we play Pokemon Go. And when we get to my parents' hometown, like it's just a fucking cesspool of nothing. Like there's nothing there for it. And so I think about, like, to your point, like what about those people that live in those areas that want to play these games on their phones since they have nothing else? Things are going to have to get better is the short answer. And I don't know what that looks like right now.
And I don't think that for all the conjecture and like praise we've given a thing that's not out yet, I don't think that xCloud is going to be the only thing Xbox offers.
No.
I think it's crazy to think that they would move away completely from systems. Disc
they already
media
said they're not going to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, they said that, like in that video they put up, they said we want to have something for everybody, and like the people who want to have the best hardware for it, like we're going to continue to put that out. People want to have it on the go, we'll do that too.
Yeah. So it'll be an interesting like cornucopia of things, and like that's exactly what Bobby was saying earlier, which I think Eric and I both kind of missed the ball on actually saying in as many words, is that Ryan, like as devil's advocate, like Bobby's right, this isn't the be all end all, this isn't the saving grace, this is a broadening of options, right. And that's what's exciting, because to drag everything back before we start actually suggesting games as we were requested.
I definitely opened a huge can of worms on this.
No, it's all right. It's all right.
No, it's good. It's a good conversation.
It's great to drag things back, and it ties, which is how I'm going to pull it back here, is that the Game Pass is the first step of that, right? Of just giving people options. And there are so many games that exist, and there are so many people that only play what they know, what they see. For the longest time, me and you, Ryan, were Battlefield, Call of Duty, and Assassin's Creed. Like that was it, those three. And then we started getting into more games because our friends started getting into more games. But imagine us being, the age where we were into those three franchises with Game Pass. And suddenly we have Ashen and Below and Mutant Year Zero and the whole first season of Hitman and all of these like vastly different games to give a shot and to like figure out what it is I like about games. Like I played Below for a little bit and didn't really like it, but I know people that got into it and like they've never played a survival game in their life and they can't stop playing Below. Like that's really cool to see. Like that's what I want to evangelize with Game Pass, is that like I know people that don't like games that tried something in a different genre and like can't get enough of it, and that's something that Game Pass offers in spades.
Right, and
absolutely.
I think and I didn't mean Dead Medic. You said this a little bit ago in the chat. was talking about, the idea of AAA games as services is murdering the industry, and I don't necessarily disagree with that comment as it's meant. But what I see these services doing is, to your point, Caleb, is giving those games, and we mentioned it at the top of the show, life and the ability for an audience to see them that has never seen them. Which is great. And I don't want to, and I know we're talking about Game Pass, but there's other services, right? Whenever a new technology comes out, you always see proliferation of it before you see consolidation, right? I remember, a couple of years ago, when marketing automation technologies came out, all of a sudden there was 500 of them until the larger companies started buying them up. And I think that's what we're going to start to see with this, because you've got Discord, right? You've got Discord, you've got free games on Twitch, you've got Humble Bundles, you've got all of these things you can already subscribe to. Microsoft's entry in it with Game Pass just happens to be kind of the darling, I think, because it's getting the most play from there. But I don't want to forget about the earlier ones. Twitch's Loot and their free games. It's awesome for these smaller developers. Anyway, let's get into. I feel like we're getting deep here.
Yeah.
Oh, we've been deep, buddy. We've been deep. That's a really weird thing to say out loud to a group of friends.
We all have kids or they're on the way. Anyway, so actually earlier earlier today, and Bobby wasn't included in this, but I brought this up that we should, I don't know, maybe have a little bit of homework prepared to come in for like a few things about Game Pass. I don't know if you guys did it, but I did. So the three things were games, like 2 or 3 games that you have most played based off of Game Pass, and ones that you enjoyed from Game Pass. Second one was any underrated games that you've played. And then the third, actually I changed it from underrated or something that you wouldn't have played. And then 3 would be any games that you did play that you did not like or enjoy. And I don't know if anybody did that, but if you did,
Bobby, do you have an idea of those, or do you want us to go around a bit and come back to you?
You can come back. I got a pretty good good layout, but I don't have to go first here.
All right, cool. I'll grab first spot.
I'll send it in the chat, Bobby, if you want to look at them.
Oh, cool. Thanks, man.
So 2 of the games I've played the most, I think. I'm gonna rank these based on category, or I'm gonna separate these based on category. So most time played, easily Rocket League. Now I have to. There's a little disclaimer I have to put out there. I did play it a ton before it was on Game Pass, but it being a game on Game Pass, and since it has been put on Game Pass, it's still the game I've played the most. Rocket League is amazing. I don't know why it's not a bigger esport, because if you like watching sports, Rocket League is frighteningly similar to just watching a sport. But yeah, that game's dope.
Soccer with more goals.
And with like consistently cooler goals. But anyway, the second for one of the games that I liked the most just in the last year and a half, 2 years that's been added to Game Pass is the first season of Hitman. I'm a huge fan of stealth games, and I know those are a very particular. It's a very particular flavor for people to get into. But I know Bobby and I have talked about how much we like Assassin's Creed and how Assassin's Creed's kind of run away from being a stealth-focused game, and we kind of dislike that. Hitman is just creativity and murder, and it's so good, man. You can run through that game like John Wick and murder everybody, or you can literally be a scalpel and like never be seen, and it's so much fun. And so for that game to, like, the whole first season to land on Game Pass right as Hitman 2 comes out to entice people to buy Hitman 2, like, it's just the levels of good that is so good. And then to answer number 2 for underrated games, easily.
Underrated or something that you wouldn't have played.
So I'll do both. I'm going to talk a lot. Sorry. Underrated would be Mutant Year Zero, and I'm sure that game maybe isn't as underrated as it was when it first came out, but I can't give that game enough praise for being a game that had no business to be as fun and as good as it was.
I'm going to go ahead and say that would be one of mine also. So like I'm going to double dip there.
That's totally fine. Like that game, I don't know if Ryan, if you've ever played games like XCOM where you're like top down using tile based, turn based strategy combat. But man, like Mutant Year Zeros, it's pretty. The voice acting is actually
so
good.
It's so good.
It's so good. It had no. It like it. I remember watching the trailer and being like, "This is gonna be a really weird and bad game," and then, oh, it's so good.
I would probably buy that game if it would leave Game Pass. I've enjoyed it so much.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. And I'm excited to see like what they do next because.
Yep.
Yeah, man, I can't believe that game was so good. And then game that I wouldn't have played normally would be Ashen. That's just the first thing that comes to mind.
Yeah.
I have told people I won't buy Souls games because like I don't want to be that angry, and everyone's like it's so hard, and like I hear the horror stories of tossing controllers, and I'm like I don't want that. And to be able to try it without buying it is awesome. Games I didn't like Below. Yeah, the third category I don't want to spend a ton of time in because I don't like shitting on people's projects they worked on for years. Below was made by Capybara, which made Sword and Sorcery, which I loved.
Yep.
And Below is beautiful. It's just not my game. It's just not my style of game. And I was excited for it and played it for a couple hours, and I get it. I understand what it is. It's just not my thing. Yeah. So that's my not so short list.
Yeah.
Ryan, Eric, anybody? What's up?
Eric, go ahead.
Let's see. 2 games I played the most enjoyed off gameplay. So I'd have to say Quantum Break. I tend not to spend. Would be one of them. I try not to buy in my adult life games that are single player that I know I'm gonna only get 20 hours of gameplay out of. So I like it. Ruiner, I think was absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely love that game. Sea of Thieves for what it was. I think I never would have touched that game if it wasn't for Game Pass. And then we know Hellblade. I'm not going to bring that up again. And then underrated games. I don't know. I don't know. I haven't really paid attention.
Underrated for yourself because I feel like you're going to base it off of like.
I feel like Below is a little underrated. I really enjoy Below, but I enjoy rogue-like games, and I think it oozes Capybara.
Oh, absolutely.
All over it, and I think it lost a lot of its hype because it took 9 billion years to come out.
Not as long as Ashen.
That's true. But it's just it's just like what do you guys what's going on? Why did that take so long? I think a couple of the surprises, if I want to add a category there, because I haven't played anything on here that I dislike, and I'm kind of with Caleb. Actually, I didn't even realize until you just said it, Caleb, that Hitman was on Game Pass.
Yeah, dude.
I know you. I didn't even bother thinking about it because you're such a fan of that game. I figured you just bought it, but now I'm going to go ahead and download all of that and play them.
I did buy. I
know you did. I didn't even. Yeah.
Okay.
What I'm getting at is I wouldn't even have thought it was there because of the way you talk about it. I think other interesting things on here, like one of the surprises that always shocks me, just scrolling through the list, is both Darksiders are on there. Darksiders 1 and 2. Darksiders 3 hasn't shown up yet. I feel it will inevitably be on here.
Sure.
But games like that, that are a little bit older, were great games.
Dude, the Mega Man Legacy Collection 1 and 2 are both in Game Pass.
Yep.
Like if you like Mega Man, you can play them all.
No, Shadow Complex is on there as well. So
yeah, I saw Mega Man was like number 2 on Twitch the other day. Like the top viewed game at that current time. It was like 136,000 people watching Mega Man.
People that are good at Mega Man are fun to watch because that game is fucking hard.
That was there was a charity this week too.
Yeah, it was a charity, but it was all Mega Man, I think, was going on.
Yeah, it was it was something to do with speed running. Those guys. Those people are insane.
It was there was the speedrunning event. What's that event called?
I think that's what Eric said.
It's like the awesome Games Played Quick or something like that.
Yeah, Games Played Quick. Yeah,
Games Done Quick?
Yeah, Games Done Quick. Thank you, Bob.
Games Done Quick. Yeah.
That shit
awesome Games Done Quick.
Those guys are nuts. Like, they know every frame and every count of every level, and I'm just like, there's What's in the Dreamy community, Sarge? There is Random Pink Bunny, I want to say is the name.
Yes, yeah.
I
know you're talking about.
Yeah, she is a speedrunner. I was watching her play some of the Tomb Raider game earlier this week, and she was talking through the methodologies and stuff like that. And I'm just like, that's that's like chewing your food too fast to me. These things are there to savor.
Did you taste it?
To savor and enjoy. Again, not bashing anybody that does it. I think it's phenomenal. I think it's really cool if you're into it. Just not for me.
Yo, sorry, I know other people got to talk, but I got to throw out. There's a game on Game Pass that just showed up called The Gardens Between. That's a really delightful. It's a really. Did you say it's on your list?
It's on my list.
Oh shit! All right.
Take it.
I'll let him talk. I'll let him talk.
No. Go for it. I got other shit I'm gonna bring up anyway.
Okay, it's just this really delightful retelling of a relationship between a couple of kids, and it's like this really cool fast forward and rewind is the only mechanic you really get. You can pick up things and put things down, but it's like left and right on the stick, and it moves forward and backward in time and plays with these like dioramic puzzles, and it's just so unique and so creative, and so there's so much heart in it, and that like I played through like half of it in one night. And I was just like, oh my god, like this is like I would literally never have thought about playing this game, but it was free with Game Pass, and like man, yeah. And Sunset Overdrive. Duh. The game's fucking awesome. Anyway, sorry. Other people, go ahead. I'm just looking through the list and be like, that game's dope too.
So a couple that I've spent. So the questions here were 2 or 3 games that you've had the most played, enjoyed from. So I had played The Division on my PlayStation when that game came out, but I did revisit The Division when it came to Game Pass because I thought that was an incredible value to have on that. And there was a few people that didn't have PlayStation that I could play this game with that was really cool. And it was right on the heels of them announcing the new one. So there's like some buzz and zeitgeist around it that we all hopped back on and played, which was really cool. I know this game is not for everybody, but I did play the shit out of State of Decay 2.
Yep.
And that was like a really fun, just awesome resource management, but even having some of the co-op stuff there was some good dumb fun. And there's even some of those like methodical elements of that game like you get with XCOM or Mutant Year Zero, where you have to really think out like, can I make it this far away from home and get back with all the stuff I need, and thinking about your moves in a really interesting way. So State of Decay 2, that was an exclusive that launched on Game Pass. That is worth a download. Mm-hmm. And then Forza Horizon 4, of course, I think is just that might be the best bang for your buck on the service right now. That's on there.
Beautiful opening. That game opens with such fucking bombast, dude. It's great.
It's really good. As far as like any underrated games that I've played, so again, like I think that this game has a pretty big base, but I was not a part of it before Game Pass, which is the Vermintide Warhammer games.
Ooh, yeah.
So
I forgot about that.
I played through that for the first time. Actually, that's been just a really fun, kind of like a podcast game, as I call it, where I put that on to listen to a podcast and do some mindless killing. But it's also been a really fun game I've played with a few other people. You've already talked about Mutant Year Zero, and I agree with everything that you said. One game that I did play that was something that I know has a base, and I might be on the outskirts of, but when they brought Elder Scrolls Online to Game Pass, I think that was huge.
Yes.
And this was a game that, like, I enjoy the Elder Scrolls. I didn't think I would enjoy the online stuff. I was like, I'm not going to put my money into that. And then Game Pass rolls around, and it's like there is a ton of value and a really rich community playing this game. So I think there's some people who are asking on here, like, hey, I'm tired of playing Fortnite. I can't remember who asked it earlier, but like Elder Scrolls is a really good community if you're looking for something where you can play with other people. There's also a lot of people right now playing Warhammer, and The Division got a shot in the arm also, but that game's going away here soon. Yeah. As far as games that I did not like or enjoy, like this is very personal. I don't like Souls games, and I'm not too big onto survival mechanics. So I think Ashen is a really good like Souls-like game, and Below is charming to look at, and I love the style. Like I would put it in the best style category or best looking game, but the loop wasn't enough to keep me in, and those are just two games that like I think are remarkable to have on the platform, but they're just not for me.
Yeah, and that's like proof to the diversity of the platform. Like I want there to be stuff on there that's not for me, because that means it's for somebody else, for sure.
Yep.
Ryan, last but not least.
Right. My top 3. Caleb, can you guess them? No, I'm just kidding.
Hang on, I will guess them. Your top 3 are Rocket League, and Rocket League. Go ahead.
Well, that's 2 of them. No. My all-time favorite's got to be Forza Horizon. And I'm so happy it was on there because that was a game I've played all the Forzas except for the very first one. I've played all of the rest of them, and I was planning on buying that game, and it rolls out on Game Pass. I said, thank God, because I about spent $100 on the Ultimate Edition.
Sure.
So that saved me quite a bit of money there. But I do love that game. I've loved all of their games, and I think it's really cool that they dropped that on Game Pass. I'm not going to say Rocket League because I don't want to say a game that I had before Game Pass. I can't really thank Game Pass for that one. I can thank Game Pass for all the noobs that play it now that I get to dominate. But
as we lose 6 games in a row.
Hey, that's at like 6 in the morning when we should have gone to bed at like 2 o'clock.
5 at 5.
Yeah, you guys were probably going for a little bit.
Yeah. I'm gonna say Sea of Thieves. Honestly, that was the reason I got Game Pass. Ben was all gung-ho for it whenever it first came out, and I think Caleb kind of said something about wanting to play it. I said, screw it, I'm going to get Game Pass. And as little as I play it, I still put it in my top games just because, like, when I do get on, it's kind of hit or miss on if we're going to have a good time, but at the same time, like, it could blow up like that.
Yeah, for all the shit. Go ahead. You don't have to.
Yeah. You don't have to, like, yeah, you can go and like, oh yeah, I'm just gonna go treasure hunt. Well, now there's these rebel guys over here, and I can see that they're coming to kill me, and I have to figure out if I'm gonna try and get my treasure first and get it turned in, or if I'm just gonna bypass it for now and come back when they're not in the area.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
I gave that game a lot of shit, but it's still up there on my top 10 games of the year because, like, when I had a good time playing that game, it was some of the most unique stuff I've ever done in a game.
Like when I shot myself out of a cannon a quarter mile, landed on an allied ship to save them from sinking.
Oh
yes,
God.
It was one of the greatest things I've done.
And you would have missed had they not hit a wave and like you hit the mast and then fallen down onto the deck. Like, so good.
I think that's a game full of moments for sure.
Yeah, absolutely.
And my third one, I'm going to say Halo Wars 2, just because I do like the strategy games, and I'm also putting that one in a underrated game for me as well, because a lot of people were like, cool, Halo Wars, it's all right. Then Halo Wars 2 came out, and they actually added stuff to it, and everybody hated it. And it's like, what's the hate? But I grew up with Red Alert, and then I moved to Dawn of War, Warhammer, 40K, and then I played StarCraft, and just continued on from there. And it's just like those are my, that's where I started. Like, I can't forget where I came from, I guess, if you want to put it in that aspect. But I do really enjoy that one, and that's why I put it in both top and an underrated game. The other 2 underrated, I'm going to say both Ashen and Absolver, just because I had recently played those 2.
Oh, fuck, Absolver.
And now I got to say, I'm kind of surprised that they're on my list anyway, for the fact that, and Caleb was there, I hated both of those games for the first hour to 2 hours I played. And then I was like, man, this game's fantastic. Like, okay. Like, what is
first hour, he was like, man, this fucking sucks. I'm like, dude, just
I can't
get through the tutorial.
What the hell?
Just get through the tutorial.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'll put those 2 there. And then my not enjoyed games. And I actually went through the list this week and looked at a few games that I would probably never pick, and I decided to download them and play them. And so one of them is called Grip. It is a modern Mario Kart, more like futuristic.
Oh, gotcha.
But I feel like that. I mean, I can't really say this because other games are like well overplayed. But I mean, they came out with Mario Kart and then Crash Team, or actually, what was first? No, Mario Kart would have been first. Crash Team was the
Mario
Sonic,
64, Mario Kart.
And then so there's so many games that have that same aspect of you pick up a boost and you shoot a rocket, or you throw a shell, or you do something like this and you take them out and you're racing. Like, I don't know, I just couldn't get into it. What were you saying, Eric?
I was just gonna say, Grip reminded me a lot of F-Zero. More than it kind of had that F-Zero twist with the futuristic stuff with some of the Mario Kart things. Anyway, go on.
Wipeout.
And also
Wipeout,
which I had to show Caleb.
Ryan,
that it's on N64.
I forgot there was a Wipeout. I forgot there was a Wipeout 64, and I played the strong game and was like, there was never a Wipeout on 64, and he showed me the cartridge.
For those of you listening,
I took him to school, just so you know.
Yeah, for those of you listening to the audio on Monday, Sarge held up the N64 copy in front of the camera. So,
but yeah, actually, I loved Wipeout like probably more than I did Grip, and Grip just came out a little while ago. So, and then the other one, since I'm into racing, I played Onrush, which was another one. And I didn't know really how to feel about it. I feel like it's, man, what was that Need for Speed type game that came out?
The Crew?
No, it's where you could blow other cars up.
Burnout Paradise?
No, not Burnout Paradise, but Burnout itself. Before. I know Burnout Paradise is kind of the same thing. But yeah, I feel like it's more of that style, but with a bunch of different vehicles that nobody really cared to play as.
Can you wreck people?
Yes.
Oh.
But I didn't like it, especially coming from my racing background. But that's all I got.
All right. Dope. I forgot to drop Absolver in my list. That game is really good, and I hate fighting games. So for that game to like get my attention, and me and Sarge and Sketch Sawyer played it co-op for like 4 hours one night and had a lot of fun.
Bobby,
you got into Absolver yet?
Than Ashen.
Yeah, it's good.
Yeah.
Because the co-op in Ashen is the only downfall of that game, at least that I see in my eyes, that you can't, for some reason, you can never stay connected into a match together.
You can't invite your friends either. That's weird. Bobby, you did play Absolver a little bit?
Yeah, I've dipped my toe into it. It's a game that I didn't expect to really grip me just because I don't like those types of, painfully difficult games. But overall, I think it's got some good style, and I'm enjoying it so far.
Yeah. Yeah. It's hard to think of a game that can nail making you feel like Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
But man, when you're clicking on all cylinders, woo, I think that's pure kung fu.
I think Shaq Fu did a good job of that.
Shaq Fu, man.
And everybody, that's gonna do it for our show.
Later, guys.
And we're done.
Music.
So ordinarily we do wrap up the show with our bounties, which is kind of like a suggestion of like what to play or watch, or what to play, what to watch, what to listen to. We've already kind of done play. I don't want to belabor the point and suggest more games, since we've basically been playing Game Pass games for the last week anyway. But for just posterity's sake, since it's what we do on the show, Bobby, what have you been playing that hasn't been on Game Pass, if you've been playing something? Or what have you been watching, listening to, or reading that you want to kind of share with the world?
Yeah, I'm playing a game called Moonlighter right now on my Switch that is just really, really, really good. I'm still playing a little bit Into the Breach. My wife and I started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, we always have like some kind of like easy to watch, dumb, I don't want to call it a dumb show, but like a dumb show that we have that we share together. And that's like something where she'll be on her iPad maybe like coloring or something like that, or I'll be on my Switch while we're watching TV, hanging out together. And I've been playing Into the Breach and Moonlighter quite a bit. And we just started watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine. So there's a 2-for-1 for you right there.
Boom. Dope. Ryan, what have you been imbibing in terms of media?
Well, unfortunately, I played PUBG the other night with you, and I really didn't enjoy my time on that game anymore. I also
hold on. I have to interrupt. There was a moment where the whole squad died, but Ryan.
Yes.
And he's just fucking off into the distance, and he walks past a castle, on Vikendi, and I was like, "Yo, you want to go up in that castle?" So he stopped.
You want to play King of the Castle, is what you said.
Yeah, you want to be king of that castle? He was like, "Oh, okay." And he walked up there and killed 2 people just like staring at the floor. It was the fun. Like he walked up and there was someone standing there. We were like, "Oh God!" It was so good. Anyway, go on. It was one of the most random dumb stories.
Yeah, I do have my good moments on that, but I really didn't. Yeah, I really didn't enjoy that time the other night, just because I feel like I'm so out of PUBG now. Been playing, Black Ops 4 now. But I've been playing a lot of zombies here lately with a couple of other buddies and the other group of friends I got. So I've been playing zombies on Black Ops 4 and Black Ops 3. I've been trying out the new Game Pass games. Me and you played PES the other night. Pro Evolution Soccer. It's very good. It matches up, I think, 1-for-1 with FIFA, other than the fact that it doesn't have realistic teams, except for obviously the signed-on teams themselves. But I think it's a really good game. The controls and everything are just the same, so that's pretty cool there. TV shows, I'm still watching Blue Bloods, as I was either last week or the week before. It's a cop family drama based around a police commissioner, a detective, and a beat cop. Kind of shows the lifestyle of all three and how they all tie in together. And then, dabbling in The Office every once in a while whenever I get down on myself. So, yeah, other than that, that's what I'm doing.
Dope. Eric, what have you been doing?
I've been crying on stream, as Sarge witnessed the other night when Hellblade.
You mentioned how much you didn't want to talk about this, and you're the only one who brought it up 4 times.
I know. I never said I didn't want to talk about it. I'm very secure. I will cry. Ever since I've had a daughter, I cry at the slightest thing.
It's not because she was a girl.
It's not because she has a girl. It's because it's my first child, right? But Hellblade, because I had we'll talk. I know we've got a podcast coming up where we're going to specifically talk about this with like games like Celeste and things like that coming out, and the Sal that I touched on. But I have such a personal connection to Hellblade. Suffering from a mental instability similar to what she has. Personally, it's the end of that game just got me. But I've been doing that. Melissa and I finally started watching, Melissa being my wife, for those of you listening to the show don't know, we finally started watching Ozark, which I really were really digging. We were kind of watching it in front of the kids, and then we got to one of those points and it was like, oh nope, let's go find Parks and Rec. Here, let's turn Parks and Rec back on. This is good. We can watch Parks and Rec in front of the kids. So then,
so is Ozark's good?
Ozark's really good.
Yeah, I'm digging it a lot. We crushed season 1. We're getting through season 2 right now. It is Jason Bateman might be the absolute best asshole. Like the way he does his deadpan face and just his delivery is just spot on. Awesome in everything that he does like that. Other than that, we're gonna dive into some games. I'm excited now that I'm done with Hellblade to get into some Absolver. And actually, I played it for a little bit. I dig it, the fighting system. I dig how the cards are laid out, and how you can kind of build your own fighting style. It reminds me a lot of the old, what was the USA when I was a kid? Anyway, used to have, I think it was every weekday during the day, they would have kung fu. They would play an older kung fu movie on the USA Network. And I would just watch them when I got home from school. And it was awesome. But it reminds me a lot of that style or that type of thing. Like you can kind of create your own, spaghetti Western or old school Kung Fu flick with your buddies.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. My wife and I finished Daredevil season 3.
Ooh.
And the level of good it was over every other Marvel show but Punisher is just, it's frightening. Like we finished Luke Cage season 2 a couple weeks before we started Daredevil, and like we had to push through an episode or two of Luke Cage a night. We watched the first 5 episodes of Daredevil the first night and didn't realize it.
Yep.
That show is just so well written and acted, and
I hope that Disney brings it to their service, man, because that is.
I can't imagine Charlie Cox not getting to keep playing that character. He's so good.
I want to know what you thought specifically of the episode where Kingpin, and there's spoilers if you haven't watched it yet, shame on you.
Spoilers. Plug your ears if you haven't watched it yet for the next 30 seconds.
Just mute the tab and move on. What I'm saying is what did you think of the scene where he's going back through Deadshot's childhood?
Oh man!
And there's no words spoken by Vincent D'Onofrio, just the looks on his face and his body.
It's amazing.
Oh, that dude's gravitas is just unreal.
Yeah, I mean, say what you will about Charlie Cox, I think Vincent D'Onofrio steals the show. He's the reason I watched that.
Yep.
Yeah, sure. Although I will say in the finale when they fight and Charlie Cox comes out of his Daredevil comes out of his skin a little bit and like gets visibly and like physically angry at Kingpin for threatening his friends, like that scene is powerful as shit. Yep. Also, the scene with the nun where he retells the story of Job, and he's like, you know what I realized? Job was a pussy. Like, fuck.
Yeah.
Man, that show's so good. So good. Also, fun fact: Benjamin Poindexter's hat on the baseball team he was on is a black and white bullseye.
Yep, the logo.
Yep.
It's so good, man.
So good. Yeah, that show's amazing. So we finished that. We just started Tidying with Marie Kondo on Netflix. It's super good. Little adorable Japanese woman who is all about like the zen of cleaning and maintaining your living space and organizing, and like it's super dope. And that's really it. I haven't been listening to much new. Trent Reznor and Atticus Ross did the soundtrack for Bird Box. So whether or not you like the movie, they are fantastic composers, and the soundtrack is just as good as anything Nine Inch Nails or the two have made. The first song's like 13 minutes long, and it's entertaining the whole. I don't understand how they're so good at what they do.
Aren't they doing the new Watchmen TV series?
I don't know, but if that's the case, like,
I'm almost positive.
Yeah, I want to say that I
it.
read that somewhere too.
And you got a little bit of a preview of what that's going to look like during the Golden Globes, which
the HBO coming up in 2019 trailer is very good.
Oh shit! Tomorrow or Sunday night is True Detective, Mahershala Ali.
Yep.
Oh shit! Yeah, I'm super excited to see Mahershala in another leading role. He's amazing.
Yeah, he's real good.
He was real good in Green Book. He was real good in Moonlight. He was real good in. He was the only thing I liked about Luke Cage season 1.
Yeah.
Straight up, Cottonmouth was very good, and then they killed him, and I was like, all right, well, I don't care about this show anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's gonna do it for us, guys. It was an awesome show, I think. Bobby, thank you so much for coming on.
Guys, it was a pleasure. Appreciate it.
This is great.
Yeah, thanks for being here, man.
We might have to have you. We might have to have you come back for our games and mental health episode, because I know
Celeste was one of my favorite games last year, and I like the commentary that's going on around that a whole lot.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, just because I know how much you like Celeste, and like as a person who has dealt with depression for the last 8.5 years, playing through that game right now, because newsflash everybody, it's on Games with Gold. Celeste is fucking free, and it was a Game of the Year nominee.
That's something we didn't even touch on tonight, was Games with Gold.
Yeah, that's true.
Which is even if you fucking Microsoft has just been on fire the last 12 months, and I don't see it slowing down, boys.
Nope.
Yeah. They have no reason to. They're winning. Hardcore. But yeah, we might have to have Bobby back for a couple of episodes. 100%. But we'll let you guys know. We'll let you guys know when that happens. Real quick, so everybody can find everybody here. Bobby, where can we find you on Twitter and anywhere you want people to find you?
Yeah, Twitter, I'm somewhat active on. Like, I've tried to get better at Twitter. I'm just at Bobby Pease. That's Peasc on Twitter. If you want to play any games with me, I go by Lumberjack Smack on everything. So
very good gamer tag
across the board. And I am on Instagram. I take a lot of pictures of my wife and I's travels and our dogs. So it's just BPs85 on Instagram.
Dope. Ryan, where can people find you?
Sergeant Sodium on Twitter and Xbox so far.
Dope. Eric, where can people find you?
Hybrid Glass, ever it matters. Yeah, here's Bobby's Twitter handle. I was trying to get it in the thing there for everybody.
Oh, thanks.
You bet. Yeah, Hybrid Glass right here. So yeah.
Dope. And you can find me everywhere. It's important as Lubwub. That's I always want to say Facebook. It's Twitter, Instagram, Xbox, PlayStation.
No, the command's not in there. Damn.
All the things. But that's gonna do it for us, guys. As you know, this show is gonna be on. Oh, I almost forgot about the other thing I had to announce. Rewind. Blip, 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 blip. For those of us, so Ryan, Eric, and I are going to play Hive Jump after this. Hive Jump just released on Xbox. They're a local St. Louis studio called Graphite Lab, and Hive Jump is just now releasing on Xbox and Switch today. And so that just released on Xbox and Switch. We got some code so we can play that and stream that for you. So we're gonna jump in and stream that. Bobby, I'm sorry I don't have an extra code for you.
You're good, man.
I gave it away yesterday, and then thought I should give it to our guest. Fuck. But
just tell me how it is.
We're professionals.
And if you want to grab it, I don't think it's too expensive. I think it's like $20. If you ever want to grab it and join us on stream anytime, you're more than welcome.
Hey, I would love to support some St. Louis folks.
Yeah, and they've been all over the news here in town. Like, they're kind of making waves. It's really cool to see that stuff happening. Hey, I mentioned them in our tweet tonight when we were announcing the show, and the founder, the game, and the studio all liked and retweeted the tweet. So maybe, just maybe they will tune in, but I'm not sure. But yeah, stay tuned to this channel for that. You can also probably pop on Sarge's channel for that. I might throw it up on my Twitch. My internet's been a little interesting, so we'll see. But for those of you who don't know, we do this show every Thursday or Friday late. We stream it here, and then on Monday, you can go to nerdybits.com/listen to find the podcast uploaded. You can also get it on iTunes, Stitcher, and a bunch of other podcatcher apps that leech our RSS feed. But I'm Caleb, the host. I've got Eric and Ryan and Bobby with me. Thank you so much for listening, and we will catch you guys next week.
We'll be live, like Caleb said, with some high jump.
See you guys.
Yeah.
Thanks for hanging out.
See ya.
that live in the darkness. It's a sighting that is rare to come across. Nobody seems to have noticed the power that could be bestowed is lost, riding through the twilight. This armory protects my heart.
Out in the wild,
Oh, I love this song so much. If you guys don't know who Cruella is, go listen to all of them. Ugh. They're so good. I absolutely love Cruella. Oh, wait, hold on. My door's not shut all the way. Be right back. I have reached out to them personally a couple times to try see if I could get one of their songs for the intro to my stream. Hasn't worked out so well. Cheers. Hey, Skiwi. I just want to let you know, you're the man. Thank you, everybody, for hanging out for Bounty Board. We enjoy doing it. Dude, you know what you're doing, man. I need to redo my office so that I can actually step back and dance. Anyway, for those of you who don't know, we're going to get Lubwub back in the party and Sergeant Sodium. Let me arrange this action here. I don't know where my Xbox app went. Let's get this going. Maybe if they're not even on Xbox yet. I don't know what they're doing. Oh, there he is. Is he? Nope, not logged in yet. Let's get Sodium in here. We're gonna play a little Hive Jump, guys. Look, Chonger. 2019 is gonna be the year of me playing some PC games because it's a new year. Not everything has been purchased already on Xbox, right? So that means, oh, by the way, plus Game Pass coming to PC, so that means I'll be able to play all the games that I play on Xbox on PC. No money. Chonger, you missed me crying on stream the other night, brah. I mean, just tears. Just from playing Hellblade. Very emotional. Very emotional Hellblade. No, yeah, scared. No, I suffer from a very, not full psychosis, but a very, I have a clinically diagnosed disease, mental condition, very similar to that. So to watch her go through that journey and the way that it was personified, like just the way it felt and, you know, the way I felt my entire life. Oh my God, I'm over 10,000. Ladies and gentlemen, we hit 10,000 views tonight. Cheers. All right, let's turn the things down. All right, so for those of you, I'm going to go ahead and get started. I'm not waiting for Sarge and Caleb. Oh, I like that. Nice job, Skiwi. So anyway, for those of you who don't know, I need to turn this down just a scotch because we were playing PUBG the other night. Skiwi is the damn man, hands down. Also, a little bit of announcement. So since we are now on house time, just want everybody to mark it down. Mark your calendars down. There's going to be a trailer coming out. I've got one more tweak tonight. I'm going to make it tonight when I get done gaming. January 26th, 9 p.m. Central Time. I'm happy to announce that the House of Glass version 2.0 will be launching. Lots of changes coming. New alert packages, new overlays. I finished cutting the trailer today. I got one more little tweak to make, but it's coming. Skiwi, my master moderator, hard at work here. Getting the commands ready. There is a Discord server. The House of Glass will officially open up for after hours on the Discord server. Drinks and parties and champagne for all, Saturday the 26th. There we go. There it is. See, he's already got the command in there. Thank you, Mr. Wadsworth. Putting in overtime tonight. Not gonna lie, I could just listen to this music all night. Anyway, let's get into it. I don't remember how to play the game. Let's turn the Muzak down. No. You like that? That looks good. I'm assuming they applied changes worked there. It said, when in doubt, shoot everything. Oh, God, let's do campaign. So for those of you who don't know, this is I don't remember the name of the studio here. This is a Kickstarter game. Company out of St. Louis. I have to make it take a turn here. Let's look at that one. Mech Offline. What's this one? Scan Hive, 500 goo. Psionic Sweep. Reinforce. Oh, okay, there's a strategy element to this. Ah, okay, I get it now. So end turn. All right. Oh, we won. Oh, achievements. Impregnable. I love it. You there, Sarge? Oh, if you're there, I can't hear you. I don't know why. All right. This is not the whole game here, guys, just so you know.
Hi, Dad.
How do I actually...
Hello?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
All right. How do I actually go and, like, shoot things?
I don't know. I haven't, I just downloaded.
Oh, here we go.
I'm gonna run and grab something to drink real fast, maybe a little snack, and then I'll get my stream up and going, and I will join you, sir.
All right, buddy.
Is it multiplayer or is it all solo?
I hope it's.
Gonna be playing solo?
I hope it's multiplayer. Dentonstein, thank you for that sub. Resub. All right, Chonger.
Dentonstein.
Thank you, sir. Resub. I don't know why the alert, my sub alert, is not going off. I really don't care, to be honest, because love you too, brother. Good sleeps. I don't know why you were up for 23 hours. You're gonna have to explain that to me.
See ya, Chonger.
Chonger's the man. All right, that's Did Sketch have something to do with the animations in this one? I feel as though this has got some Sketch Sawyer written all over it.
I don't know, but I also can't find it in my game list. So.
God dog, man.
God dog. Dude, am I blind? Can I not read?
I don't know.
Oh.
All right, man. Appreciate you hanging out, Chonger. Thanks for that lurk, man. Get some sleep. Be well. Also, Tomahawk, welcome to the House of Glass. Thank you for hanging out tonight. If you're still around, I appreciate that follow. Also, I didn't get to call Lumberjack out, our guest on the stream tonight, Bobby Pease. He is also a member of the house now, and I appreciate that. All right, this is a lot of like punching buttons and reading. All right, apparently I've got to do something here. Okay, now there's the jump hive button. What can I do here?
Dude, where the fuck is my hive jump?
I don't know, man.
I just got downloading it. Literally 2 minutes ago.
Pulse rifle rounds. What do I got here? What are my options? Oh, I have a mag slugs, high precision, low fire rate. Spread shot, high volume blasted bullets. Upgrade for 1500. I'm gonna go pulse rifle. Oh yeah.
Oh, it's because it doesn't have the name on it.
Oh yeah, no, it's just like a monster thing.
It's just a big snake-looking thing.
What do we got here?
Wow.
Yep, fuse grenade, utility, telefrag. Yep, good with that. Confirm.
All right,
Starting
right
at 3, 2, 1. Hive jump. All right, what do we got here? All right, looks like there's a heat mechanic. Oop, that guy's shooting a unit, man. Dude, this music is dope. Get out of here. I feel like I need some alien like sound effects. Oh, Sarge is I'm gonna drop that out real quick. Hold on, let me pause. There we go. I got my audio coming through Sarge's stream. Also, my camera got shrunk down just a little bit. Oh, there we go. Now you guys can see the jawline. Mm-hmm. And the cheek structure. Perfect. Perfect. Just out of curiosity here. I don't know what that means, but okay.
Normally I have to do party chat through my PC and then have my headphones, my other set of headphones plugged into my controller so I can hear game audio, but that's what that means.
Well, maybe it's you and me streaming this game as soon as you get on. There's one other dude besides us too, so let's get it.
Hey.
Let's go, Sarge.
OBS is starting right now.
This is the game for you. I feel like we need like some alien sound effects for this game. Like, Drake, we are leaving. Game over, man. Game fucking over.
Okay, alright. Ooh, I think I'm gonna drop the new layout in there.
Oh, did Ben finish it?
Yeah, I got my live layout. I'm gonna drop that one in there. I don't have like the
Oh God!
stuff like that in the right place, but that's okay. Hey, please, sir, you scared me.
That is a.
Oh, Ben, honey.
Rumor has it you have a code for this, Benjamin?
Yes,
Nice.
the rumors are true, as are the prophecies.
Excellent. Well, let us jump some hives together.
Alright. Ben, it's first night I'm dropping the layout, bro.
Awesome.
It's gonna be awesome. And this camera is phenomenal. I'm loving this. Our green screen is ordered as of today.
Sweet.
Yep. Come on, chatbot. Come on. Work with me. Work with me. I'm starting the stream.
Who wants some of Devo? Grenade. Give me that goo.
Yeah.
Give me that. Give me that beautiful alien goo. Give it to me. Give it to me, you dirty hive.
Oh. Settle down there, buddy.
I'm out of grenades, son of a bitch. Man, this control's silky smooth. I don't know if it's Dead Cell-esque, maybe? Oh god, oh god. This might be the end of Kara the Explorer.
My chatbot. Come on now. Work with me, chatbot. Damn robots. Relying on them.
What are you munching on there?
Crackers and egg salad.
Ooh. Homemade?
I've got
I trust.
cinnamon.
Homemade.
There you go. Only way to fly. Man, we got a yeah, it's very similar in that that regard. Well, that mushroom you can bounce off of. I need some grenades. Man, we got an Instapot.
Alright.
Oh, fuck.
New profile. Oh, I gotta put a name in. Oh, this is gonna take an hour. I quit.
Is there a number of
Never mind.
respawns like in here? Hopefully Caleb comes back.
He said he would.
Yeah, Bobby was good, man. I like him. Oh, God.
Yeah, it was awesome. I like that we had a lot of minds thinking on the same topic. It's pretty cool to get a different perspective from other people. Oh, and a panda.
What the fuck are you guys playing?
It's called Hive Jumping.
We're jumping hives, my dude.
We're playing Starship Troopers tonight.
Alright, you've got a buckle, you got a lot of dead bugs.
In fact, I feel as though we should just do Starship Trooper references the rest of the night.
Challenge accepted.
The only good bug is a dead bug.
Is it bed bug?
Dead bug.
Zokar
I
Shade.
have to reset my Xbox,
Why do I not have...
so I will be back.
Alright, buddy.
What is the trailer for? It's so loud.
Oh, this is poison.
For what?
Poison gas.
Hive jump.
What's up?
The trailer.
I found
No
Sergeant
volume.
Greenfield. What was the name of the studio?
Ooh, that double jump though.
Sorry, we gotta figure out how to get in the same game here. Oh yeah, grenades. That's what I needed. Ooh, whoops.
Oh, it's got a real metal slug key.
It does. Yeah, there we go. That's the
That's the reference we needed tonight.
yep, metal slug.
Oh, the purple ones explode, dude. Watch the purple ones there.
Oh, I get. Okay, so my backpack health is what determines how many respawns I have.
Not gonna lie, the jumping is kinda good. Dig it though. I dig it.
Yeah, on left trigger.
Yeah. And this is I don't know what's going on with my Twitch dashboard, but it says it's I've only been streaming for about 4 seconds. Ooh, that was cool. The grenades. Cool animation. Hey buddy, don't you touch me like that. You hive bug, you.
Uh-oh. Oh, that's a goop one. I didn't need to. Oh.
The love of wub.
All right, I dig the Telefrag backpack. Oh god, guys.
It's a good way to join the competition. I like the Telefrag backpack.
Oh, you've missed a lot of fun so far.
Yeah, a lot of Starship Troopers references, a lot of
Venus and Vagina.
Yeah.
that's Kindergarten Cop.
Bob's and
Wrong,
Begin.
not even the right genre. Now, if we want to go Predator, we're in the right realm there. Go!
All right.
Get to the chopper!
Through the first, do I have to go through the campaign? All right, I did the tutorial. So
Fuck,
do
I
you
don't-
want that now?
There was a tutorial?
Oh, I don't know. When I started up, I jumped right into the game, into like how to do things. Did you miss the tutorial?
Oh, backpack hole. Yep.
I like that. I like that title song.
Dude, yeah, I love the music in this. I don't have a grenade.
I don't think that logo should have been anti-alias though. Missed opportunity there.
Oh, on the
Yeah.
like it's just a big monster. Yeah, I was like, I downloaded Hive Jump. I don't see any names anymore. Oh, that's kind of weird. Tweeter. All right, well, Eric,
There's
whenever
a-
you get a chance.
Okay. I need to figure out how to get out of this hive. Is there a way to... Oh, quit hive. Okay.
Ooh, there's a speed run.
Wait, how do I join you
Seems-
guys?
That's what me and Eric are working on.
Hold on. Fort Balamora is being attacked right now. By the hive. Now Fort Ismo is being attacked.
Caleb, is this the first release night of this game? You said.
Yep.
Okay, I'm jumping a hive right now. All right, I have 3 join slots available to me, so
Let me get through this
You doing the
tutorial.
Oh, yeah, let me get through the-
I cannot invite you to game.
You have a gauge for your backpack, or is it? Oh, it's unlimited. No, it's not unlimited. Okay. Just gotta have to keep it in mind.
Hey, does the game studio have a Twitch handle or a Twitter handle?
Yeah, it's at Hive Jump. The game studio's at Graphite Lab.
Okay.
Go back to the main menu.
Graphite Lab, you said? Got it. Okay.
I don't see any way to invite you guys.
Is it not match made?
No.
Xbox Live local co-op.
Okay. Well, what else do you guys want to play?
We gotta play this for a little bit.
Hey,
But we can't.
Yeah, there's
Can't
no.
play online.
There's no online.
It's local.
Why would it say Xbox Live local? How does that make sense? If you're local, you don't need live.
Let's just take a look here. Yeah, that is.
this season.
Well, Eric, you said you had slots. Can you invite people to them or no?
Mm-mm.
Yeah, well, there you go.
So,
I actually don't
clicked
have
on-
the slots either. I saw that on Eric's, but I don't know where to get to that.
You hit jump hive, it opens up slot.
There's Night Squad. Included with Game Pass. That says Xbox Live Local, but I know for a fact that one's on. Rival of Aether. I just clicked on if you click on Xbox Live Local, it shows you other people into that tag. So it's kind of weird that, you know, Night Squad is online and Xbox Live Local. Here, actually, let me click it. If it's Oh yeah, see, Xbox Live local multiplayer, Xbox Live online. Because you know
Look,
why, right? You have to
you
be
can't-
online to play games. Always online DRM.
You can't call it Xbox Live if it's local.
Yeah, I feel that's really.
That has nothing to do with Xbox Live. You couldn't get any further from live.
It's always on DRM, dude.
Fuck, glass looks good.
Well, Ryan, plug in your other controller and I'll tell you what buttons to push.
Okay.
Alright, well. I don't know when I'm gonna have another human being in my house to play this, but I've got another game to play with someone, I guess.
Yeah.
Alright. What is this? Scan Hive 500 goo. Sonic Sweep. Unavailable.
Occupy a node. Ooh, I occupied it. Now what do I do?
I'm gonna give you a node to occupy.
Promise?
Mm-hmm.
Can I, ooh, I'm jumping that bitch. Come here, bitch. Jump your hive.
Give me that goo.
Oh, I dig the characters.
All of it.
Just blew myself up.
That is definitely acid.
I wonder if farming simulators call up.
It is.
Oh, it totally is.
It's so is it.
Battle Royale.
Ben, do you want to do a farm stream? And we could do like a series. Planting the wheat, harvesting
Day
the
one
wheat,
on the farm.
like all day one, plant the wheat.
Equalize.
You guys
Mad
are,
cow disease, like we just run them over with the combine.
you guys are wacky.
This game was hard.
Are you complaining?
It feels like Contra and Metal Slug had a baby.
I definitely like the skin selection, and the second one that you get, it looks exactly like Master Chief. Just saying. Just saying.
Well, this Ark survival trailer's something else. You can fucking fly dragons?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, so speaking of Ark, I take back what I said about Atlas.
What
I
do you
definitely take it back. I was stated that CT needs to watch out with Atlas, and I feel like Atlas needs to go die in a hole.
That's
I don't
one
like
fucking
it.
trailer.
I think the
Well,
tattoo customization and the ship customization.
Yeah,
The
game
weird
does
thing
not
about
make.
it is like at the Game Awards, they showed I guess a trailer for Atlas.
Did you download it, Skewy?
It looked as good as Sea of Thieves, and when you get into it, it looks like a Sea of Thieves version of World of Warcraft.
Yeah, that's what it looked like to me too. I think everybody's a little
And-
more enamored for that trailer than they should have been. Because I watched it like last week and I was like, ugh, what is this?
You just watched the Game Awards last week?
No, that
I mean,
well,
the trailer.
Oh.
The
that
trailer.
It's by the same people. And there's a lot
Yeah.
of deception in that.
Panda played a lot of Ark. He knows.
You know, dude.
I lost you as a
What
friend
about
for
this?
like
How
a
many
year.
people do we have at the party?
5.
Hey, you've got no room to talk. What
yeah,
about
no
this,
shit.
this Aftercharge game on Game Pass? 3v3 Invisible Robot Combat.
That's all
Yeah,
right.
so like, there's a bunch of defender robots that have to fend off invisible robots that are attacking like command points, and they only become visible when they attack the command points. So you have to like set traps and shit and prepare for them whenever they show up.
So it's not.
Really interesting.
Mal, welcome to the stream. How
Is
you
it
doing?
PvP?
I'm dead. That's how I'm doing.
Yeah.
What's up, Blind
Three
Squirrely?
people,
How are you,
three
brother?
people play invisible robots, and 3 people play real robots or invisible defender bots.
Sounds like Tokyo 42. God, that game was fun.
I want to play that game again.
We should install it.
No, no.
Try to stream it.
No, no.
I did install it.
You're doing good, man.
So, Caleb, do you know anything about the little gold nuggets that you get in this game?
That's the goo. That's what you need to
Goo
take
is what you
turns.
use to upgrade your-
Yeah, upgrade your shit and take
take
turns
turns
on the
upgrade
map.
your shit.
Yeah.
So what you're telling me is that I should just sit here and farm these little hides?
Yeah, so basically
Little hides
we're
that
playing
pop out?
Farming Simulator right now.
So I could literally sit here and let everything continue to spawn and just get so much
Well,
in-game currency.
that seems like a
If you wanted to be a
yeah, this game is
I'm
fun.
doing good, Stickles. How
Squirrely.
you guys doing? We playing Dota?
Oh,
I'm playing someone right now named Mrs. Hardmaster.
No, not at all. Hold on.
Jack, mine's Jack.
Hold on, I'm trying to get back to my party so I can. There we go. All right. So this game is out of Graphite Labs, out of St. Louis. It is a Kickstarter-backed game. Lubwub, who's in the party, we originally thought that we could play this game co-op, but we were wrong. But it's basically, there's a turn-based aspect, like some fortress building on the top level, and then you have to actually like jump in and like collect shit from the hives, which turns into kind of a Contra-esque Metal Slug type game, which is pretty interesting so far. It's local co-op only, which I feel is an interesting choice. We just jumped into it. The two guys that are in my party, I dropped their chat out so I can talk to you guys. Look at that guy. That's a new enemy. Oh, that was not good. Can I telefrag this guy with the backpack? Yes, I can. But you basically can stay in a hive until your backpack runs out of life. There are bosses, supposedly. There's a hive queen. I'm just telling you what I'm told, man. I got it a week early though, so because the guy my buddy that I do the podcast with, met the developers and they gave him some codes. So I played it a little bit before the stream tonight. We thought we were gonna get to play co-op, but we were wrong. Oh, my backpack might die! Oh no! Uh-oh. Uh-oh. Spawn! This is supposedly the easiest difficulty. I mean, I'm sure I could, but you have to get through the various, uh-oh, the hive is swarming. I don't know what that means. Oh, God. That's it. That's it! Ooh, that's a rank E? Alright, so now, what can I do? Reinforce, add 200 troops to 4 defenses, 2,000 goo. I feel like this fort's kind of weak. Let's beef these up. Alright. So now I have to end my turn, and then this happens. Victory. Okay. I feel like I should get goo off of this, right? Right? I feel like I should get goo off of this guy. Well, it says 5k goo. I got 303 goo, right? That's 5k goo for a Mech Guardian. I have 651 jumpers. So I gotta get through. Alright, let's replay the briefing. Let's skip all of this. Because I really don't feel like reading all this right now. Actually, it'd be kind of maybe the next one I'll do voices for each one of them. Okay, so we can jump this hive now. Let's click on this. Yeah, it's Stormship Troopers. It's Starship Troopers, right? We're taking the fight to them. Right, we've got to go harvest their goo. Yeah, would you like to know more? I wish there was a way to destroy those guys without a grenade. I dig the music, though. Oh, that guy nullifies... Oh, no, I overheated. I thought he nullified my laser gun. Give me that goo. Yeah, there's a gas bug. I don't want to fuck with that guy. Apparently they can't get me on this mushroom. Yeah. Even though it's like a 30-second loop. Oh, there is a map. All right. I don't like the it's like not true analog control, right? Oh, there's a... Well, what I'm saying is they gave me... What I don't like is I have... It's a weird... It's not full analog. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It feels like it's a 12-point. Okay. I'm trying not to use my last 2 grenades here. Or actually, I was trying not to do that as well. Oh. Sorry, I was talking to the stream as well. Oh, blew up again. I gotta stop walking into the purple guys. Uh-oh. Oh, no! But yeah, I agree, Skiwi. It's... What does this do? Oh. Ah, so those are little challenge areas. Okay. God, if this is the easiest setting, I don't even want to know what, like, Act 5 is. Alright, there we go. Alright, we're getting that goo. Ooh! It's going, Wild. How are you, brother? Dude, that video was great, man. I need to put something together like that. I gotta find the time, though. Yeah? How do you feel after last night? That was a good stream, bro. Happy birthday again, man. No! No! Oh. Alright. I feel I've given this game a fair shake. I feel like I've given it a fair shake. I'm done with this game for now. Especially after all that work and it gives me an F? No way. There you go. That's it. All I ask for mine for my birthday is all I ask for mine for my birthday is to get to stream during the day. Is to play video games at a time where there are people watching. No, I just died again, and after collecting 4,500 goo or whatever I got, it gave me an F. So I was like, fuck this. Yeah, sleeping for 12 hours is great, man. When I went to bed after I logged out of your stream last night, my wife went out with some friends. I went to bed actually at like midnight last night and slept until 9 this morning, which was not good because my boss was calling me at 9:05, so I was a little groggy. All right, I'm going to Absolver. I want to go get into some Kung Fu action. Solos, sure. I don't know. Yeah, I woke up because it was actually my boss calling me, and I sent him to voicemail when I saw his name, and I was like, well, I gotta at least brush my teeth before I talk to him. And then I was like, nah, I'm out of here. Brush my teeth, grab some coffee real quick, and then got there. I need to get that I made some that trailer that I showed you earlier. I increased the length of it and then made a couple more edits. I need to adjust the new audio track that I got for it. Oh, dude, that's awesome. See, we lucked out and our children both sleep until about noon. Yeah, I'm doing everything. I do everything in After Effects. I have not used Premiere. I mean, I do everything except principal editing. I do in After Effects now that I've learned how to use it. Like I'll go and assemble. I'll take raw footage and assemble it in Premiere. But pretty much everything I do is After Effects. But like I told you today, I'm just waiting for the day with the new gig. The company that bought mine, I'm waiting for that bean counter. I'm waiting for that bean counter to say, why does this guy have a Creative Cloud license? He doesn't need one. And then it just get nixed. And I definitely don't want that. All right. So now I got to remember, I should have probably... All right, that's X, that's attack, right, emotes, that's block, dodge. I don't remember what lock is. All right. All right, brother. Take care, man. I appreciate you hanging out. I appreciate that. Okay. Oh, that's block. What does this do? Ooh. Those are worse than what I've got. Wait. Oh, that's weight. Because they drop my blunt, but they up my cut by quite a bit. Okay. Alright. Didn't I? I'm confused. Oh, close. All right. Thanks, Mr. Scooby. Oh, click is sprint like that. Okay. Not found a school yet. Meditation. Do I have any points? I do not have points. Okay. Alright. Got me some... I like it. I dig it. Let's go with there we go. I updated it. I feel that's fitting for this game. So Absolver is yeah, exactly. So it's a fighting game at its core, right? You build, and I'll show you here in a second. Let me up my... do I want to up my vitality? Yes, I do. So I'm going to do that. So if I go over here, right, and I look at my... So right now my combat style. So what you do is you find different combat styles in schools. So right now when I created my character, I chose the Forsaken, which its ability is to parry. Right now I've got known attacks, 13 learning attacks. I'm learning 14 different attacks, right? There's my emotes and my intros. So the most interesting thing about Devolver is if I go to practice here, right, and I hit this button, I can edit my combat deck, right? So here, if I hit XX, right? You can see the different ways that this positions. So right now, X, if I want to change my finisher right here, I can say I want to finish in this position, right? So now when I throw this kick, you'll notice that this rotates to this position. So now from there, I hit here, now I'm in this position. This position will open to this position, so on and so forth. So you can build a pretty intricate fighting system based on these tiles that is your own fighting system, right? And then Y, my alternate attacks, these are all the different alternate attacks that I have. So if I do now, right? It's actually relatively simple. What you get out of it is when you unlock PvP and you unlock PvE, you get a very interesting blend of it's not, no, you can't really, what am I trying to say? When you're playing PvP, it's not like a fighting game where if I'm playing Batman and you're playing Superman, I could potentially know all of Superman's moves. I actually have to fight my opponent by using what I know and just being the better fighter, which is kind of what I really enjoyed about For Honor, outside of the pay-to-win scenario that game turned into, at least in the big conquest mode that I enjoyed a lot. How do I switch targets, Aria? Look at that move. Ouch. Okay, now I gotta figure out what I did wrong there. Well, one, I know what I did wrong there. I'm not very good at the parry. I'm intentionally getting my ass beat here. Okay. So that was intentional. Because I'm trying to figure out the parry timing. Somebody over here? Alright, there we go. What do you have? Fragments. Okay. Alright. Oof. Alright. Okay. This game's got a very steep learning curve to it. Turco. Okay. Oh, now we got... I wish there was a way to aggro mobs without both of them coming, and I did it. Oh. Ah! Okay. I keep hitting Y for some reason, and I don't mean to. That guy was super stingy. Okay, there's two of them again. Damn it! I feel like I need to go and do another tutorial. I feel like I'm missing a key element to this because I haven't played it in a couple days. Right? Or maybe I'm under-leveled and this will help it. Okay. Like, I feel like I'm missing something with blocking and countering for some reason. Alright, just him this time. That's good. Damn it! Like, I'm not sure what I'm missing with my stamina management. Like, there's a move there that he's throwing. Like, it's fun to think about this. I wish you would have told me what level this guy was. See, that guy's got drunken boxing already. I don't know what I'm missing. Gotcha, coach. Oh. I thought I had a Superman jump here. Okay, I see. That Superman jump is the alternative attack for there. Okay. That's cool. I want a sword. Where do I get a sword from? I am Da Vinci. Alright. Oh, what? Wait a minute. Alright, hold on. How do you... I gotta, Alright, I just beat that guy, and apparently I got Earthquake? Is that a school? What is that? Ah, Earthquake is on my right. Okay. Okay, fine, fighting. Sequence attack X, alternate attack Y, guard B, lock is RB. Stance change, that's fine. Stance horizontal, yeah. Stance vertical, great. Hey, thank you for that follow. Welcome to the house. How do I... Oh, here we go. Special abilities when locked. Special ability... Is it simply tapping the right stick? I'm confused. How do I change the person I'm locked onto? That's what I'm... Ah, hold and then look. Oh, that guy. Alright, so do I have to go past them now? Could have sworn I saw a map somewhere by smashing all of these buttons. Very new. Like, I played a little bit right when it came out, and then this is the most I've dived into it. I was in the middle of a Hellblade playthrough because it's the first time I played Hellblade 2. So any tips? I'm playing solos tonight, Da Vinci. But I will definitely go ahead and add me in when I play. I'm actually not going to play that much longer. I got to get up for the kids tomorrow. So maybe another 15 minutes. All right, I'm tired of going down that hole. Mysterious cave. I don't know. Like, I like the concept. I don't know. I'm going to have to give it... Because the whole goal here is to beat... the whole goal here is to beat... become an Absolver. Oh, I just got crushed. All right, I'm gonna shut it down for the night. I don't. All right, I'm going to go ahead and turn it off for the night. And we are going to go... I can't spell. Surge. There we go. I'm going to drop you off, my buddy. Thanks, man. Appreciate it, Da Vinci. Thanks for hanging out. We'll be back tomorrow night. I'm going to go raid my buddy Sergeant Sodium. But I will be back tomorrow. And we'll get it going from there. Anyway, you guys take care. And I will see you guys later.